Yo, it's your boy Night Phase. I got my boy here, Zay. Zay, say hi.
Hi.
Hey, what up, man? Isaiah.
But
And I got my other boy here, Jackson Hendricks.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
man. All right, you can follow these two on the Stardust app. Make sure you download it. It's free to use. It's a great, reaction app. You can react to, trailers for movies and TV shows. It's free to use, easy to use. So I highly recommend it. That's where you'll find some of our Stardust reactions. So definitely do that. I will leave, the links in the descriptions and their usernames as well, so you can follow these two great guys. So yeah, Avengers Endgame spoiler talk, guys. Been dying to talk about this movie. Finally, I mean, I already did, but that's not enough. This is
It's not
Endgame.
enough.
Uh,
It's 3 hours of pure insanity.
it is. There's just so much to dissect and talk about. So we're gonna do all that. So overall, without jumping to spoilers yet, what did you guys think about it? We'll go with Isaiah. We'll go with you, man. What do you think about it?
it was like it was like one of the most emotionally draining Marvel films since Infinity War. Like I
Yeah.
literally walked out and like I felt like super like lightweight getting up because like I couldn't feel anything no more. Like I felt really weird getting up off the seat because of how emotionally draining I was. And it's still crazy how this was 3 hours yet. It didn't even feel like 3 hours to me because time just it just went by fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my.
I agree.
Just no spoilers, but this movie was just crazy from beginning to end. It
Mhm.
was just amazing. Like, oh my god, the Russo brothers, like such geniuses, such
Yeah,
genius. Crazy.
I agree. Jackson, what did you think about the film? How it made you feel?
Well, I get it's a superhero movie and all, but
Mhm.
I have never sobbed that hard in a movie theater um, before in my life.
Yeah,
Throughout the entire thing,
I
I said the
don't
same.
blame you.
I
I've
said the
been
same thing last year during Infinity War too.
right.
I said in my letterbox review that it might be too early to say or might be too hyperbolic, but I'm gonna kind of stick with it. Probably, especially once I see it for the second time tomorrow, that this is probably one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, absolutely.
I absolutely adored every second of it. It wasn't what I expected. My jaw was dropped within the first few minutes.
Yeah,
It's everything I wanted and more. And of any movie that should not have been able to live up to the hype, it was this one, but it exceeded it, which I
yeah.
think is just a monumental feat.
Oh, I totally agree, man. I was speechless. Like when the film ended and the credits roll, I was just went numb. I was just like looking at everyone's reactions, and then it was hard to compose myself because I was leaving the theater. I was trying to do the Stardust reaction that you guys saw,
Mm-hmm.
and there were people just looking at me because they were in line. There was people just staring at my face, trying to read my face. And I was like, "No, don't look at me, man, because I don't want to
Don't
spoil
look at me.
So yeah,
How
it
can
was
you compose
it
yourself
was
like
such an experience.
something you cannot compose yourself right after?
Yeah, it's really hard. More so than Infinity War. This really got me more emotional.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it did. I thought, yeah, like you said, lived up to all the expectations and then some. And kudos to the Russo brothers, man. Like they had like an impossible task with Infinity War and with this film, especially with more so with this film, just capping off and just concluding it like almost near perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like 11 years building up to this, and I thought it paid off wonderfully. So yeah, I think it did live up to the hype. So now I'm gonna ask you guys, what is your rating for this film? Like on a 1 out of 10 scale, because that's normally how I do my ratings. And where does this rank up in the MCU? Like, oh well, Jackson, I know you don't like ranking, so you can skip that. I
Well,
will.
I can still answer that if you want, but
Oh, I mean, yeah, if you want to, but
yeah.
yeah, we'll start with you, Jackson. Your rating and where does it rank up for you?
All right. Well, rating is going to be the most boring one between all of us because we're all going to say 10.
Yeah.
We're all going to say 10. So that well, the way generally I feel rankings, it depends on what you just recently watched. And so for right now, because I just saw Endgame, it's number one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
but I have a feeling if I were to, force myself to rank it, it'd probably stay there. It's like
Yeah.
it'd probably be a toss up between that, Infinity War, and Civil War, which
Mhm.
Russo's.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much all the Russo films in the MCU is in my top five, top four
Yeah,
actually.
no, same with me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they made the four best ones.
Yeah. What about you, Zay?
The fact that literally right after Infinity War, this is just another year. They didn't wait like 5 years. They had to do this film like a year after, and they still made a film that was so jaw dropping. It's just over my expectations. Like they
Yeah.
did not have much time, like to say like Civil War time. They literally
Mhm.
only had a year to film, and they did it, and it was just incredible. So if I could, I would go over 10 because it was that good.
Yeah. 11, like 3,000. I love it. 3,000
Hey,
times.
Oh, don't do that to me, man.
that's a
Don't do that to
that's
me.
I had to go there. I had to go there. That's my thing from now on. I'm just like, if I love something very much, I'm gonna say I love it 3 times, 3,000 times.
right.
Yeah. So I'll start with you, Zay. Who's your favorite character, like among the Avengers? Like your number one favorite. If you can't decide, like at least your top three favorite.
Mm. Okay, so is this like the regular six Avengers, or can we like add in like new Avengers like Captain Marvel or like
Actually, yeah,
something?
within the entire roster of them, if you want. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay, so my favorite has always been Iron Man, but Captain America is an amazing character. There's nothing wrong with him as a character. I love him, but just
Right.
with Iron Man, like I just loved how like sarcastic he is about everything, and he's such a chill guy. Like he's really chill
Yeah.
about, and it's just like his attitude it's like a better attitude to me. Like that's how I like. How do you say the word?
Hmm.
Bonded with that character more.
Yeah.
Um, he's honestly my all-time favorite, so that's my answer.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Jackson?
Mine would have to be Captain America, definitely,
Yeah.
because like my favorite DC character is Superman, and the way I see it is Captain America is Superman but relatable.
Right. Yeah.
He's
Absolutely.
that paragon of righteousness, but he's
Hmm.
still a human being, and he still has weaknesses and flaws. And not to say Superman doesn't or hasn't in the past, but it's Captain America, and I feel he's such an interesting, well-rounded character, and especially through his arc, constantly fighting for what is right. And I think that's kind of something that we've always needed,
Hmm.
especially in today's world. And a character to be Captain America and to be who he is,
Hmm.
and always fighting for what's right, even when the organizations he doesn't that he's a part of, he doesn't see it fit, he doesn't see it as right, he still fights for what he believes is right and what ends up being right, like we saw with Hydra and Civil War,
Oh
or
yeah.
Winter Soldier more so actually, and Civil War actually against his friends.
Yeah.
So I relate to Captain America in ways, but in more ways I look up to Captain America, Steve Rogers, and try and find some truth and justice in him. So definitely Captain America.
Yeah. Great
And
answer. I have to agree with you. For me, is Captain America, especially in the Winter Soldier. Like I just love how honorable he is. He never compromises, and you get to see that especially in Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
with the whole Sokovia Accords, and that's made me side with him so easily. Yeah, like you said, everything you just said, like he is like the equivalent to Superman, but way more relatable. And that's something that I could never relate to Superman because just of his over sheer power.
Mm-hmm.
He's like almost like a god. So it's like, how can you relate to a god? But Captain America
right,
is the more like realistic Superman. Like he has all those great honorable character traits like Superman. So yeah, that's why I gravitate towards Captain America a lot more. So he's definitely
and
my number one. My number two would definitely be Iron Man, especially after seeing what he does in this film.
Oh my God, Tony
right,
Stark.
Yeah.
Captain America, out of all of the Avengers, is the one who, no matter what, like shield or no shield, the thing
Mhm.
about him, shield or no shield, he always gets back up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He always back
Yeah, I
up,
could
like,
do those all day. Yeah,
and he can
that
always get,
is
and it's not always like it doesn't even have to be a fight. It can be like a conflict. He always gets back up on it. It's just
right.
like thing about him that makes him such a related great character. character.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's makes him one of the best top tier Marvel characters. All right, so we're just gonna dive into spoilers. Screw it. Here we go. So this is the spoiler warning.
Finally.
Yeah,
Fine.
finally, right? We got all that. I
Are
don't
we
know.
gonna jump like chronologically, or are we just gonna jump from piece to piece? Because
No, we'll do it chronologically. We'll
As
build up to it.
chronological as we can.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We'll try to build up to it just like Avengers Endgame did, because the payoff will be epic. You know.
right, as much as we
So
want to the end, we're gonna do chronological.
yeah, so in the beginning, the intro, we get Hawkeye. We finally get to catch up with Hawkeye, and it's like a nice, beautiful, like somber scene, and I love the way the Russo brothers shot that scene. And then we see that this is part of the snap, the decimation,
Right.
and that was such a haunting scene. What did you guys think about that scene? I'll start with you, Zay. Go.
Like I am not a parent. Like I'm not a parent, you know. But
Hmm.
to felt like so much fear because he just saw his daughter, you know, and
Yeah,
right looked at her view, she's dust, and that fear, like it's just scary, you know. Like kid or no kid, I felt fear for him. Like I was scared for him because his family was right there, but then they're not, you know. And it's just like, how do you cope with something like that, you know? Like it's
yeah.
not. He was probably just. It's like it's so shocking, you know. But yeah, that scene was really beautiful. I love how it was shot.
Right, Jackson.
Well, that was the first time I cried in the movie.
Oh
No, I'm telling you, the whole movie. My
no,
tear
I
ducts
don't
were
blame you, man.
empty
Yeah, no
by the
blame.
end of this one. No, a bunch of people expected that to happen, but I don't think anyone expected it to be handled as well as it was. Because
Right.
the second they had the initial shot of, Clinton, his daughter holding the bow, I'm like, okay, this is what's
Yeah.
going to be happening. And I think a lot of it is great at further emphasizing, because most people aren't going to be watching Infinity War and then directly see Endgame. There's going
Right.
to be a bit of break in between. It's like to remember, hey, by the way, this is exactly what is going on, and
Yeah.
don't you forget it.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, especially knowing Clinton having that whole second act of Age of Ultron on
Oh
that
yeah.
farm, and
That's.
knowing that family.
Mhm.
And a bit of personal thing for me, because I love freaks and geeks. So seeing Linda Cardellini evaporate into dust
Oh
was
man.
not fun, but
Yeah.
incredibly beautifully shot as well. Like a bunch of people were in previous MCU films complained about how they look bland. And I agree with that. Infinity War and this one are so beautiful looking
Oh,
throughout all of it.
absolutely.
And I think that first scene really shows it. Like without even all the special effects, it's so well shot, well lit.
Yeah.
And just incredibly well directed. The transition from nice and peaceful to the shaky cam of when everything's happening. It's excellently done. I think that's the perfect opening they could have done, because if they went right into the next scene, it would have felt a bit more jarring. I think this was the best way they could have opened it up.
Exactly. Yeah. I think, like you said, it was very important to be reminded of the ramifications and the events of Infinity War.
Just a reminder, all your favorite people are
Yeah,
dead.
are dusted exactly. And it was a great way to reintroduce us to Hawkeye, because we haven't seen him since Age of Ultron.
Civil
And
War, actually.
oh, Civil War. Sorry, you're
Yeah.
right. It's Civil War. But in Age of Ultron, that's when I found Hawkeye really fascinating, when they gave him, the family angle. He was hiding his family, and they just gave him more layers to his character, and I found his character even more fascinating. Hmm.
Especially in Age of Ultron, like he had way more screen time, and we had more stuff to work with than Civil War, in my opinion. So he was definitely a shine. Like
Yeah.
he was definitely one of the characters who shined the most in Age of Ultron.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think Age of Ultron is great, but I think the most impressive thing about it is that it made Hawkeye interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I enjoy Age of Ultron. I
No,
mean,
I like it quite a bit too. It's an entertaining
right.
movie, but
It's not like in my top 10, but it's still enjoyable.
yeah,
It
it's a
has
fun
its
movie.
flaws, of course.
Well, most Marvel movies are at the very least enjoyable, which is so impressive for 22 movies.
I know.
I'm
That's
so glad this one stuck the landing. If this was the terrible one, oh my god.
Oh
That would have
god,
been
I
bad.
would be so depressed. I'd be like, no, what did you do, Marvel? But anyway, so we go in to where we left off. We see Tony and Nebula on the spaceship. And what did you guys think of Nebula's character? I think this was the best we've seen Nebula, like character
Absolutely.
arc wise.
Yeah.
We'll go with the you, Jackson, first. What did you think about Nebula's character arc in this movie?
Well, I think. Well, Nebula, I've always enjoyed, and as much as I love Karen Gillan, she's always kind of overacted in the role. Um,
Yeah.
but I think she definitely toned it down for this one. And I think with her arc from Guardians 2 all the way up to this movie was so perfectly rounded out, especially when they get into showing the two Nebulas,
Oh yeah.
showing the difference from 2014 just to a few years late. Technically, actually, now I think about 10 years later, because it was a 5-year, then 5-year again.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah. I didn't think about that.
yeah, but the way Nebula was round down this movie was fantastic. And one thing I noticed, especially that was mostly pointed out to me, was in this opening scene with her and Tony. It goes to show you and emphasize once again how broken and hurt Nebula's been by growing up with Thanos, because she gets so excited and so into this game of paper football.
Oh yeah.
That,
That's
and then she wins on her own luck, and her opponent legitimately congratulates her. And
Yeah.
right.
she
Yeah.
legitimately sees Tony as a friend.
Yeah.
The first real friend she's had that hasn't ever tried to kill her.
That's very true. She's not used to that kind of like feedback in general
Mhm.
because Thanos would always like just talk shit to her, like bring her down, basically just give her orders.
Well, yeah, and it's like, when she was messing up at the paper football, instead of, breaking her down and, replacing her arm or whatever to make her
Mm,
better, he just showed her how to do it better. I think that was
exactly.
very important for Nebula, especially,
Mm,
because her whole arc is coming out of her, kind of daddy issue shell to an extent with Thanos.
yeah.
And I think this is definitely the best Nebula's ever been. I think she was one of the highlights of the movie.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure. Zay, what about you?
Yeah, like everything he said, I can just, agree so much. And no matter like if she won or lost that little paper, game, if it was in Thanos' favor, he would have just hurt her no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like always all her life had to like fight. And it just like I was just like so happy like in the theater just seeing her just calm, not having to worry, playing with Tony. And it was just
Exactly. Yeah.
like I was just like, where are the rest of the Guardians? Because it felt so, like happy and stuff, and
Yeah.
it was just all that and her like character, like it made like sense and it felt so good to see her character just not, fighting and just
Hmm.
like being basically nothing to Tony because Tony sees her as a friend. While Thanos, even that's his own daughter, and he didn't even see her like that, and it's just
Exactly. Yeah,
beautiful.
like Tony Stark would call her what the blue meanie when he was doing the recording. Yeah, but it's just those little moments when Tony Stark he's like basically dying of starvation and he offers her some rations and she says no because she's part like cybernetic so she really doesn't need the food. So just little moments like that go a long way in showing what a different character she's become and for the better. And I really dug that about Nebula in this film. So now we're gonna go into when Captain Marvel shows up, Supergirl
Oh,
shows up, and I had a feeling that was gonna be the case when, because when you saw the teaser, he was out in space. I'm like, well, he can't just be out in space like for the whole hour of the movie. Then more so when Captain Marvel had that like was it the post credits, which is like, "Where's Fury?" So that was my prediction going in that. If anybody's got a conversation Tony Stark had with Cap, like that conflict he still had after like Civil War, like he was taken out on Cap, and he looked so like skinny, like he really lost weight just for this one scene. We'll go with you, Zay. What do you think about all that?
About like how the camera like really like cut off a little bit.
Yeah, no, I had the same thing. I was wondering if it was just me.
It did that, and it did the audio.
We couldn't hear you for a solid like 10 seconds there.
Yeah, so I heard mostly about Captain Marvel and Tony Stark and like just that scene when she arrived to rescue him.
Yeah.
And if that's what you're asking, how I felt about it, I felt like I don't know, like I felt like Captain Marvel, like as a character, like I'm okay with her as a character, but to me, Captain Marvel is really like, how do you say it? She's like that one cocky character that just because they're super strong, they can't get hurt anytime,
Yeah.
And like that's type of my character, but that doesn't matter. I was having too much fun, so it's not like a nitpick. But
Right.
when she rescued Tony, he did, yeah, he agree. He did look really skinny. And in Captain America, the first Avenger, they did like CGI to make Steve's head, on the skinny body. So I figured that they probably did or didn't, but I
I'm
figured
pretty
that
sure
they
it
used
was
some
CG.
CGI to like make him look more, like he's
Yeah.
been starving
Yeah.
for a while. So
How about you, Jackson? What do you think about that entire sequence?
Well, for one, I thought it came earlier in the movie than I expected it to.
Yeah.
But most things did. Whenever I checked my watch, it wasn't like, oh, when's this going to end? It was like, oh my God, we're already here at this point. And that was one of them. Yeah, and I like Captain Marvel more than you guys clearly do, but so I was
Right.
I was fine with it. I didn't at all mind her showing up. I was thinking it was either going to be her or Valkyrie because we knew what Valkyrie was going to be in the movie.
Oh, that's right. That was another possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it was either going to be her or Valkyrie. And I was really happy, and Carol Danvers, I think she got the perfect amount of a role in this movie.
Oh yeah,
That
for
she did.
sure. I liked her better here than in her
Yeah.
own movie.
Well, I can mostly agree with that. However, I do kind of wish we got more of her Russo. Definitively say that. I kind of wish she was more Russo, had more screen time to definitively say that.
Right.
Because every character the Russo touches is automatically better than in their own solo movies.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, yeah. That
Captain America, Black Panther, Iron Man. What we've seen of Captain Marvel so far, but
yes.
Right.
And then I loved that scene with Tony and Cap.
Right.
Because it was the initial like, oh, they're gonna meet up, but a lot of people were like expecting them to meet up and they're gonna be, great friends from the beginning, but I would have been fine with that too. But what I liked was Civil War was never actually resolved.
Exactly. Yeah.
And all Tony is thinking now is if Cap didn't do what he did,
yeah, Peter
might still be alive.
True. Very true. Yeah.
And half the universe, but Peter. Majority.
Yes.
And that scene when he said he lost the kid, that was the second moment where I cried.
Yeah, that's what it started. I was like, oh, pulling the emotional heartstrings there. Yeah, that scene played out wonderfully. Downey Jr., man, he's such a fantastic actor.
I think he gave the best performance of the whole movie.
I think so too. I think he was the best one. That scene, like powerful lines when he was reminding him of like an Age of Ultron, where he's like, "Remember what I said about putting armor around the world or something like that?" And then what did you say? You said we will fail together or die trying together. And
they didn't even do that.
Yeah. And then he gives him the arc reactor and says, "Put that on and hide when you see Thanos." It was just the line delivery. It was just so powerful, man. I love that scene. So we're gonna go into Captain America saying, "Let's get that son of a bitch," and then boom, the title pops up. And then we're already in. We're already, on our way to, meet and greet Thanos. Hopefully with Stormbreaker.
Nice little meet and greet.
Yeah. And
nothing surprising in this scene happens at all.
Yeah, and it happens so fast. I mean, just like that, it happens so fast. The blink of an eye. They get there,
Oh,
they get on the planet. Um, they get on the planet, and Thanos just tells them, "Hey, I destroyed the stones. That's why I'm so weak because I destroyed the stones." And then Thor cuts his head off. And I want to know what you guys think about that because that was one of the most surprising parts for me. How instantly they just kill Thanos like within the first 20 minutes
They're
they
about.
just kill him. And I was just shocked. I don't know where do we go from here. We'll go with you, Zay. What did you think about that?
no, when I saw that scene, I was literally saying, "What?" Like I said it so loud because they really did it really fast, and I'm just like, "Wow!" Like that really just happened. And in my
Yeah,
mind, I was thinking that it was somebody visioning what they wanted to do. Like it would have made sense if it was like something like Thor would have thought about, and then they go back into like Thor's mind or something. But no, this really happened. Like they really had Thanos beheaded. And
yeah,
oh my goodness, the scene was just like so deep and like, oh man, it was beautiful.
yeah. It was. Jackson, what did you think about that whole sequence?
Well, I'm just glad we got Farmer Thanos for a
Oh
brief little.
yes, yes, I
Um,
agree.
I remember when there was just this quiet little scene, and then suddenly Bifrost Light comes in, and he cuts off his hand. My jaw hit the floor so hard, I still have whiplash because of it. I could not believe what I was seeing, and
Yeah.
it was another. It was like the first moment in this movie where I'm like, God, I'm glad I didn't get this spoiled for me.
Yeah, same here. Oh my god,
And
thank
then
God.
the big thing, he destroyed the stones, which is something that I honestly expected, but was still like, wow, they did it
Yeah,
this quick too. Because I was
so
expecting
fast.
that scene when they go to get Thanos to be this big fight, but what I liked about it was, and especially since seeing the whole movie,
Mm.
what once he cuts off Thanos' head, I was thinking this got a PG-13.
Yes, I
Yeah,
thought that
yeah,
too.
that
Throughout the
makes
whole movie, I was thinking this got a PG-13.
For
Yikes!
real.
And then Thor's line, "I went for the head." Was
Yeah, when he said
great.
that, I was
That was
like,
a great little moment. And then I
yeah,
love
I
that
don't.
shot right afterwards where it's blurred out and Thor's walking down.
Oh yeah, and then they used that same music from
Mhm. Oh
the
yeah,
end of
yeah,
Infinity War.
I noticed
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Hmm.
no, that scene, that was really the big setup for like this is not what you're expecting.
Yes.
yeah.
I really like that through having seen the whole movie, we get that that satisfying Thanos death where it's kind of like, what have you done, you insignificant little worm?
Yeah.
Cutting off his head without any kind of gravitas or
Hmm.
anything like
Yeah.
that, any big thing, because we kind of want to see that. Because screw him, he doesn't deserve it. But also, he's this big epic villain. Later on, of course, we get the death he quote unquote deserves. For being this villain. But uh, I thought that I'm gonna say this for every scene. I thought that scene was brilliant.
Yeah, it was very resonating and just powerful. The way it happened. I mean, this makes Thanos one of the all-time great villains because he knew like the only thing he could do is just kill me, but the work is done. I won. So even in death,
I am inevitable.
yeah, I am inevitable. Such a chilling line, man.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin as Thanos, man.
He killed it.
Just kills it, man. Just I love every time he's monologuing. It's just so fucking epic. You know what I mean? It's like on that
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman like level. Just his voice, like it's
It's
so
what
good. Like and
yeah.
when Thor cuts his head off and he says, "I aim for the head." I don't even think those even played for laughs. It was just him reassuring himself, like I did it. Like I
At the very least, I killed him.
exactly.
Because
Like I
I
just.
imagine a lot of it is he blames himself because he went for vengeance in the last one rather than for
Mhm.
actually killing Thanos. I think in this one he didn't want to repeat that mistake.
Yeah. He didn't want.
Exactly. Yeah, he was just guilt struck, so that's why he was
Like
reassuring
in that
himself.
moment, he knew there was nothing they could do. He fully lost hope and was like, "Well, if anything's gonna happen, I'm gonna cut off this guy's head."
Yeah, I'm gonna be the one to do the deed. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then so now we move on. Now we get to the most like my audience had like just gasped at this at the time the title card. It says five, real slow, then years later, and that's when I was like, what? I wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't shocked, and I thought this is when I thought this is we're in for something special because to that point it was so unpredictable, and I was like, wow, 5 years later, what does that mean? Where are they going to be at? How are they going to overcome this? How are they even going to try to bring them back? Like so many questions. So I'm gonna start with yeah, you Jackson. What did you think about that? 5 years later, what did you think about all that?
Once again, I need to get off the internet. That was theorized. So
No, really,
yeah, that the time jump was theorized. It was never thought to be as long, though. Most people were thinking it was going to be a few months. So
right?
Yeah,
5 years
exactly.
later was kind of crazy to see, but I was glad. I was really glad to see it because I really wanted to see this post snap world, how it
Yeah.
affected people,
Yeah,
um,
but
Mhm.
how it affected people, and what exactly happened. You know, Cap's support group that he
Yeah,
was running. I thought that was fantastic because there's not really much that's going to need superheroes anymore after that.
that's true. Yeah.
Little like if they lost that,
Mhm.
I'm not sure there would have been much need for them afterward.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanos fixed the universe, I guess.
Fixed, perfectly balanced as all things
Perfectly
should be.
balanced. All things should be.
Watch the sun rise on a grateful universe.
Yeah. So Zay, what did you think about 5 years later? How did you feel about that?
I felt like they were like everything in this movie just letting me that everything in this movie like was just so unexpected. Like they're just pulling you in on just unexpected things. And when it said 5, I was just like, oh, okay, months, yeah. And then it said years, and then my jaw dropped. I'm like, what? Like, where does this lead to? And
Exactly.
I loved that scene, like the AA meeting or whatever you want to call it. And
Hmm.
did you guys notice that Captain America was the only, I guess, Avenger there? Like he was like the only like main character
Mhm.
there, and I guess he was the one leading it, of course. And
Yeah.
notice that mostly all the people there were like kind of old, like as like him, because he's not like a 30-year-old man, really. Yeah, he physically is, but he's like in his 70s, and it was just crazy, like just seeing the aftermath of like what like the snap did and like how it affected the world 5 years later.
Right.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it was just
I
like, and oh, can we talk about
uh,
like Tony?
what was that? Sorry, you were breaking up a little bit.
Can we talk about how it affected Tony and just like so being so happy like to see how his life was like. We all know what was the greatest part about it. He had a child, and sadly, like he had a child before that because basically Peter was like his
Yeah.
son in a way, and it's just like you know it's sad but also
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
at the same
I
time.
thought it was a great way to take the movie forward. I mean, just that 5 year jump, we got to really see where all these characters were at. Gave him a lot of breathing room. It was so refreshing too, to have him in this like almost post-apocalyptic world where they weren't really needed. There was no danger. I mean, they emphasized that even more when Scarlet Scarlett Johansson, I'm sorry, Black Widow was asking them what are they going to do about earthquakes, and Okoye was like nothing. What do you want us to do about earthquakes? Just let it happen.
Yeah,
There's really no kind of purpose, so they're just lost. And then now we're going to move into with Ant Man, and I can't stress this enough. I guess Ant Man and the Wasp is so vitally important that you watch that film at least for the post credit scene. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like, where you been at? You know what I mean?
I just
yeah.
can't believe a rat saved the universe.
Right?
Ba-
There-
right.
You think
there
that's
was-
subtle messaging from Disney? Like, hey guys, look at what a mouse did for the whole
yeah,
universe.
yeah. Look what Mickey Mouse did, guys. Remember, sign up for Disney Plus. We're cheaper than Netflix. Come on.
I'm signing up for Disney Plus day one. I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie.
We should
Yeah,
all be
Disney Plus, man. It's is it
right.
already out or is
No, that's coming out like November.
In
Yeah.
November. Okay. Yeah, but I heard it was pretty affordable. Like
It's like
it's only
$7 a month.
yeah, it's like the same price as Hulu, I think.
Hulu is much more expensive than that, I think.
Yeah. So,
But
but
then
anyway, yeah,
We're talking about Endgame, not
yeah,
streaming.
yeah. How we just jumped into the Disney Plus. Anyway, yeah, the rat. It was convenient. There's a lot of conveniences here, but I didn't
Yeah,
mind them at
it's a
all.
movie about a god of thunder, a man in an iron suit, and a cat and a World War II soldier out of time. I can excuse a
Exactly.
convenience like a rat happening to walk across one
But
thing in
then
a dirty alley area in
right,
5 years.
exactly.
I can accept that convenience.
That,
Like
that's what I'm saying.
that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying though. Like a lot of people are just nitpicking. Like I heard that complaint about the red is too convenient, or like Tony Stark figuring out time travel. How did he figure it out so quick? Huh? You know, like oh geez.
Like people were complaining that Shuri was smarter than Tony Stark. Now he figures out time travel, and y'all are complaining. God, leave it alone.
I know, man. It's always something.
It's always
That's why
something.
we have nice things, you know.
And with the rat thing, like whenever I hear like if there's an incredible amount of convenience in one movie to a ridiculous degree, it's like that's a bit of a problem. But real life has convenience and coincidence.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't see the problem with that. I think it's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, we get Ant-Man back, and I thought that was nice seeing with his daughter, being reunited with his daughter. Zay, what do you think about that? About having Ant-Man come back into this, 5 years later world and seeing his daughter all grown up. What do you think about that moment?
okay, so seeing him and his daughter for the first time, Jackson, you said that one scene with Captain Marvel, wasn't that the first time you cried? Am I
No,
right?
it was Hawkeye. It was Hawkeye, right?
That was Hawkeye. What was this? The second time I cried was at another point. I've already forgotten.
Well, the first time I legit cried when I saw Ant-Man see his daughter all grown up. That just made me cry. Like I just had tears.
Me too.
I was so emotional.
The whole movie.
I'm telling you, man, it was. You had to bring tissues for this one, man. It was. I was welling up too when they were reunited. I was like, oh damn, Cassie all grown up. Like really?
You know who I really wanted to see at that moment instead of just Cassie? I wanted to see Hank. I wanted to see his wife. Like I wanted to see them. Like we didn't get to see them in the movie, did we? I didn't see them.
No, because they got snapped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they didn't survive.
Yeah, they did. Them and Hope, and we did see Hank.
That's what I'm saying. That post-credit scene is vitally important. The most important post-credit scene like ever, I think.
Yeah, no. I'm seeing Endgame again with my girlfriend tomorrow. She hasn't seen the movie yet. And she hadn't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet, so I'm just like, hey, look, you just gotta watch this real quick.
Yeah, just watch this little part. Just pull it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, I had her watch the whole movie because I didn't want to be like, hey, you just have to watch the post-credit scenes. I didn't want her to think like what it was gonna be, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Know what.
Yeah, yes. Like I thought that was so fascinating. Him coming out of the quantum realm, him being like totally lost, and then he makes his way back to the compound. Let's talk about Tony's new life, like with his daughter Morgan.
I've had one movie with Morgan, and I would already die for her.
Yeah, yeah, she's adorable. Like, oh my god,
I love Morgan 3000.
Yeah, I love you 3000. 3000. Wow, Yeah, I'm telling you, Robert Downey Jr. His acting is always on point. He was born to be Tony Stark. I can't see anyone else filling those shoes. Just like his personality, the way he has like this sarcastic sense of humor that's kind of like me. Like I love that. Like when she tells him like, "Yeah, I love you 3000." It's like, "Wow, 3000?" And then he like rubs it in Pepper Potts' face like, "Yeah, guess what? You were like somewhere in the 600 900 range, but I'm 3000,
I love Tony.
Yeah, like so let's move on. Let's just try to pick up the pace here. So all right, so now we start seeing where everybody's at. Ant-Man, goes to Cap and goes to Black Widow about the whole quantum realm, time travel, and they go to Tony. Tony refuses, which is understandable because he has a lot to lose. and that's totally understandable. I like that. And then we meet Hulk. I want to know, what did you guys think about Doctor Hulk Banner? I guess let's start with you, Zay. What did you think about that?
When I saw him, I was just like, yes, yes, and yes, because this is so bad. Like, I wanted him to be this type of way. Like, granted, I love him as regular Hulk, but to see
Yeah,
this, like, you know what? The rematch with him and Thanos is gonna be even way better now. That's what I was thinking. But we'll go to that later because
right.
Anyways, but yeah, so seeing him, and sadly they didn't explain to us how he became that. Like, I wish that they had
Right.
explained
I'm
to
pretty
us.
sure
But
they
hey,
did actually. Like they said, he stuck himself in a gamma radiation chamber for like a few months or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
They explained it briefly, I think.
Oh,
he vaguely mentioned something about that. He quit treating the Hulk as a disease and did his research on gamma radiation. And I guess he just combined it two somehow. But I know what you mean. It would have been cool to learn more about that, or at least maybe see that a little bit. But I mean, we're pressed for time, so
they don't.
It's a
that's so much.
3-hour movie. Like,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Jackson, what did you think about Hulk's transformation?
I thought it was really interesting, and I thought it looked great too.
Yeah,
Which there was that leaked concept art, and all the promotional stuff showed this different looking version of Hulk. So, and I knew Professor Hulk from the comics, so I
right.
kind of assumed that's where they were going. I was really impressed with the way they did it. I still don't know how I feel about him dabbing.
Yeah, I know. So
I,
random.
this movie is such a meme. I mean, Thor plays Fortnite.
Oh yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
This
It
movie's
was my,
insane.
We're
but this
getting
movie,
to that. Oh my god. Yeah, but that was a funny moment though in the diner
Yeah.
with Doctor Hulk Banner. He's like taking pictures, and Ant Man just says, "Hey, you want to take a picture with Ant Man?" They're like, "Who the hell is Ant Man?"
Ant-Man's the new Hawkeye.
Yeah, and then he's like,
No one
"They
knows
want to take a
Hawkeye. No one knows
picture."
Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, they want to take a picture." He's like, "Just take the goddamn phone." No, no.
take the goddamn photo.
Yeah, yeah.
Those poor
So
kids must have
yeah,
felt
I
so
really,
awkward.
yeah, it was. I really dug Hulk's new transformation because we're so used to seeing angry Hulk smash, and they could have easily just kept them the same, and I think that would have been just too generic. I like that they actually, gave Hulk, character development, a character arc.
Yeah, throughout, Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame, that was like that was his movie.
Yeah, it's
Those
like,
that's what Mark Ruffalo's talked about.
yeah, and I really like that. I like how he just evolved into this now, and I thought that was great. That was great.
Hey, I have something
Um,
to say about that. Did you notice that? Okay, we've all heard that in every Marvel poster that had to do with the Avengers, Hulk is never Bruce Banner. He's always Hulk, right? But in
Except
the
in this one.
Avengers poster, he's Bruce. But in the movie, he's Hulk. Like, that was just so freaking genius. Like, I figured that he would just be Bruce, but no, he was Hulk in the movie while he was Bruce in the poster. Did you guys notice that? Because that was
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Well,
yeah,
they were so intent on lying to us. They put Okoye on the poster, and I don't think she gets a single line in the movie.
right. Oh, I mean, she does.
Does
I
she have a
think
line? I don't remember it.
she has a little bit of lines of dialogue in like the little meeting with Black Widow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
When she's the one
that's
that
right.
says like, "What do you want us to do about the
Yeah,
earthquake?"
that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I know what you mean though. I expected like an additional scene with Okoye at
I
least.
expected so much more Captain Marvel in this movie than we got as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they
But
were
this was
so intent on lying to us, and I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, the marketing genius. There were people that were so pissed, like, oh, they manipulated us because they filmed scenes just for the trailer to throw us
Please
off.
manipulate us more, movie trailers. This is what I want.
Exactly.
Like, I still remember when they spoiled, Tony taking Peter's suit in Spider-Man: Homecoming in the trailer.
Right.
And, well,
Yes.
in all fairness, that was Sony, and that's why the Far From Home trailers scare the hell out of me. But
Yep. Sony. They'd like to give everything away. Like, please watch our movie. We're gonna go see it anyway. Like,
it's like well, we are now that it's MCU. If it was
yeah,
just
yeah,
I didn't see Venom till I was out on Redbox.
yeah. Same here. I didn't see Venom till that. Like someone sold me the code for $3, and I said, okay,
In all
I guess
fairness,
I'll watch.
though, I
I'll watch
love
Venom now
I
for three
loved Venom.
dollars.
It was so terrible. I loved every second of it.
I haven't seen Venom since ever because I've never.
I would
seen it.
strongly recommend it if you don't have to pay to watch it.
Yeah, maybe they'll put it on Netflix soon.
I'm pretty maybe it's on something. It is.
It?
I don't remember what it is, but it is on something.
Mm. Yeah.
If you want a good laugh after crying during Endgame, watch Venom.
Exactly. Yeah. There's just you'll be in cringe city throughout.
I mean,
Venom.
I'm gonna buy Venom on Blu-ray. I don't care. So bad.
Oh man. So now we get Tony Stark. He figures out how to do the time machine so quickly, which is besides the point. He's Tony Stark. Come on.
He's a genius.
Right.
Yeah, he's
right.
a fucking genius. So
Well, it's a mix of that, and he has freaking Friday, who Jarvis and Friday just do whatever the script needs them to.
exactly. Yeah, Jarvis, I'm gonna need a new Aston Martin, and okay, no problem.
Hey Jarvis, please make a new Iron Man suit. It's like another one.
Yeah, another
Right.
one. Like the Iron Infinity Gauntlet. Convenient, but screw it. Like,
I want to know how that works. I'm glad they didn't take time because I'm sure Tony figured out a way to make it work.
yeah.
But I want to know how that thing works. I want like a deleted scene that's just exposition on how that
Right.
works.
You know what? Like I would give it that. Like that should be explained because thinking about it, because of Infinity War, they had this whole backstory with
Built
the Infinity
Forge
Gauntlet.
a dying star, and then
Yes.
Tony
Yes,
just makes
with
it laugh.
what's his name from Game of Thrones? Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage playing
Like, yeah, that whole little like ship with the dwarves and the dying star, and it said that it could only be forged there, and the weapons made there, those godly weapons, are the only ones that could sustain the powers of the Infinity Stones. I mean, they went through. They have the movie explaining.
I have a feeling they have a scene in Endgame where they explain it, but the movie's 3 hours long, so they had to cut it.
Yeah, yeah. So I like you. I hope to see that in a deleted scene.
Or at the very least, the Russos tweeting something. Like, I'll take that.
Right, right. So now we go back to Iron Man. He goes to the compound and he gives Cap his shield back, which is a great moment. Zay, what did you think about that moment when Tony Stark gives Cap his shield back?
When he gives back his shield, to me, it just showed us all like how much they've evolved as characters. Like there's people who can just have an argument and just never talk to each other ever. But Cap and Iron Man, yeah, they had that big civil war. Yeah, they had that fight. But they see what's at greater stake and they put that aside. And it's just the perfect. It's just beautiful to see that, man.
I agree. Jackson?
I thought that was a great scene too, but I think we're overlooking that time Scott Lang became a baby.
No,
I think we're really overlooking that.
Let's talk about that, for a second. That was one of the most funniest scenes, actually.
Yeah.
Seeing when they were trying to explore how the quantum time machine works, how that works, and Hulk is like, at the end of it, him turning into like first like a teenager, then it was an old man, then it was the baby, and then he comes back to himself, and then what cracked me up was Hulk's reaction, where he's like, "What? I
call that a success."
Yeah.
Right.
Am I
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah.
It was so funny because he didn't even know like which version of himself peed himself. Like,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Was it old man me or baby me? It might have just been me.
Me. Yeah. Exactly. Even like there was a lot of comedic bits with Hulk and Ant-Man. Another one that had me dying was when they said, "Okay, we're gonna round up the Avengers," and then Rocket comes down with the ship with Nebula, and he's trying to eat this taco, and the shit just flies out. And then War Machine lands in front of him. It scares the shit out of him. And then Hulk comes in with like two like miniature sized tacos, but that's a regular size for us.
I have
you know?
no idea how Marvel, like, I can understand how they do Thanos and CGI and all that. I have no idea how they do that taco thing.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what?
Unless those are just crazy good CGI tacos.
Yeah.
I'm more effort into the tacos than Professor Hulk.
Yeah, that seemed very funny.
Those-
So let's go to we gotta talk about this one. Thor's transformation now. Now we meet chubby Thor, husky, drunk, alcoholic, beaten down
Fortnite
Thor.
playing.
Fortnite playing. Yeah, Thor.
Or-
Let's start with Jackson. What did you think about Thor's transformation? What do you think about it?
I thought it was the funniest thing in the movie. Uh,
Yeah.
the most shocking thing, and I like how they did transition into that serious tone because, you know, of course, it's Avengers Endgame, but
Yeah.
I think that showed it really well because, you know, he's a Norse god who's lost everything. Of course, he's gonna start something so he feels like he accomplished something, but then kind of abandon it, similar to kind of what Odin kind of used to do.
Right.
To an extent, like this, a lot of this was him becoming more like Odin, as was set up in Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Including later on with the beard, but not at the time that we're talking about. I just think it's interesting. We saw a Norse god yell at like a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, what did he say? He said that, "Oh, I will find you, come down to your basement, and remove your head," or something like that.
Something like that. I just imagine that kid must have been freaking out. Like,
I know, like, oh no. Zay, what did you think about Chubby Hulk? I mean, Chubby Hulk, Chubby Thor.
As much as I love Thor, like the Thor that we knew from Infinity War and Ragnarok, this version I freaking loved. Like it was just hilarious all around. Like just seeing him feeling like a teenager with Korg and Meek just threatening a kid, and oh man, and it's funny, but it's also like he's afraid, and
it's really sad to an extent as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that happened right there was funny, but also sad. There's two emotions that you feeling, and it's hitting you all at once because you have to realize like why he's like this, And as funny as it was, it's also sad. But it was just a great time, man. Just seeing him like that, a different version of Thor. It was awesome to me.
Yeah,
I think
I freaking loved it. Being a chubby person myself, that was great to finally see a superhero be husky and badass at the same time.
Get some gamer representation up in here.
Right.
I think the most unrealistic part about this movie is that they think Fortnite is going to be relevant in 5 years.
Right?
That's the unrealistic part.
Jesus.
One more year.
Yeah, like I always have to hear about Fortnite with my friends. That's all they play on fucking PS4 is Fortnite. I could never get into Fortnite. I suck at it. I'm just terrible at it.
I'm more an Apex guy myself.
Yeah, I haven't tried Apex, but I heard good things about that. But yeah, Fortnite.
I'm more of a
Yeah. But you know what? I really liked that scene when we see Thor. Like he's just so broken down. That's why I really dug where they took his character. So it wasn't played for just laughs and gags. I mean, it was funny, but you understood why he was in that.
And it was like, especially when when Bruce said Thanos, it just gets immediately quiet. And he says, "We don't say that name."
Yeah.
And especially with Korg and Meek in the background, further emphasizing that, to have a scene with Korg and Meek that isn't hysterical in nature was impressive.
Yeah, like I really like that scene when he's like, "Oh, why would I be afraid of that guy? I killed that guy, remember?" Like, yeah, he was just pulling
I killed. Why would I be afraid? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It was great to see Korg, by the way. I'm so glad he survived, and Valkyrie and Meek. That was just a bonus,
It's funny to think like, does Korg have ears? Like we never see his ears, but yeah,
he's a man made of rocks, dude.
Made of rocks.
Wait, okay. Question: was Korg in the final battle?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He was.
I was thinking he was, but I couldn't remember an exact moment.
Yes, he was there, and so was Meek, because I remember seeing Meek in the lineup with his bladed hands.
I didn't see Meek. I only saw Korg.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Coke. We're about to jump in the spaceship now. Do you want to come? Yeah. That never gets old. I love. I could quote the hell out of Coke. Piss off, Ghost. Um, so funny. So it's priceless. Taika Waititi is a genius. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Now we get to this. Oh, I love this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Is when we meet back up with Hawkeye, but he's Ronin now, and he's just murdering people like Deadpool style. Like he's in Japan, taking out the yakuza. I love that
Where's
scene, that
France?
sword fight. Yeah, that sword fight was so tight. Well, what did you think about that? We'll go with you, Zay. What did you think about the sword fight?
The whole fight with Ronin and the Japanese people was just so badass, man. And Hawkeye is already to me a badass character. He definitely was badass in Age of Ultron, and I definitely loved him in Civil War. But this right here, Ronin, just bumped it up. Like they just showed they
Yeah.
did him right. They did him so right. And oh man, and there's scenes just like in this part. It's just like this is really PG-13, like how Jackson was talking about when Thor cut off Thanos' head.
Oh
Like this is
yeah.
PG-13.
This man straight up slit someone's throat and blood was showing. How is this PG-13?
That's what they got away with a lot of shit in this
I
movie. I
guarantee,
love
no,
it.
honest to God, I guarantee you there were some under the table deals to get this PG-13.
Oh yeah, definitely,
No,
definitely.
no way there was not something with the MPAA and Disney to get this PG-13.
Right.
That was, oh my God.
And
They
I
were
like that actor too. That he was fighting, the Yakuza mob boss. I don't know how to say his name, but he was in quite a few
Godzilla.
movies that I like. He was in The Last Samurai. He was in The Wolverine and a couple other ones. But he's a really good actor. And he knows how to do that shit. Like legit knows how to do wield a katana. So that just made it all the better for it. And then I like that scene after, like, well, that scene when Black Widow comes in and he says, "Don't give me hope.
Yeah,
Please
no.
don't give me hope."
That
I just,
whole, that whole scene was just incredible from the Russos. And I want to see the Russos do some hard R stuff after seeing that scene.
oh yeah,
With some hard R action stuff. And, did you guys see the trailer for 21 Bridges beforehand?
Yeah,
That
I
Russo
forgot.
produced movie? That looks like it could be somewhat similar to what I'm thinking, but that wasn't directed by them. But
really, I have not seen that yet.
it
Actually,
looks interesting. It's got Chadwick Boseman in it. It looks like fun. But like one thing that I loved about this scene was that line of dialogue, that was in Japanese, where the Yakuza boss was asking, why are you doing this essentially, and he says, everyone else got Thanos, you get me.
oh
Yeah,
yes,
I loved that line mainly because it's like showing like his family was innocent. They didn't do anything wrong, and yet they were the ones who got dusted. These people who are out killing innocent people as well, manipulating them, still committing these crimes. Why did they not get snapped? I love that they set up that motivation within one line of dialogue,
oh
and
yeah,
you fully get it without much, and you fully get why Ronan has done this. And I want that Hawkeye TV series to be Ronan.
yes,
I want it to be Ronan. I don't want it to be Hawkeye. Like I'll be fine with whatever they do with it, but I want it to be Ronan.
yeah.
Like what he does in those 5 years.
or if you think about it, like have him as Hawkeye for a little bit, but like only in like flashbacks, and then have him be Ronin like officially. That would be cool.
That'd be also cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, as long as they can merge the two, like, Ronin and Hawkeye. Like I say, yeah, they are going to do the TV series with Hawkeye. Maybe he'll revert to his Ronin ways if maybe he loses somebody close to him that he knows, or if a mission becomes personal for him, then he
Well, in
has
all
to.
fairness, we don't know what that series is gonna. We don't know what any of the series are really gonna be, save for What If,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
which I cannot wait for.
I
But
can't.
whatever it is, I'm game. I'm game. Yeah, especially after Endgame. But all right. So now we get to see Hawkeye volunteer for the quantum realm trip, and then it works. And I love that the whole scene after that, them trying to figure out where the stones are because they're going to do the time heist. I love this whole scenes in general, especially the reality stone. When he's talk about the reality stone, specifically, Iron Man calls Thor Big Lebowski, which is so fucking hilarious.
That was fantastic.
Oh my god! And he's just you see that shot of him just in the chair. He had the shades like this, like he just
Which I do want to confirm. Him referencing Big Lebowski does confirm that Jeff Bridges' Big Lebowski exists in that universe. But Jeff Bridges also played Ironmonger.
Right.
Ah, that's good.
So
It's
I
also
don't
like
know. I don't know what my point was there. I just
No, no,
right.
no, that's a
Memes
good
where
point. I like that you pointed that out. Yeah.
oh, what happened?
No, no, no. What are you saying, Zay? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, yeah, that it's so funny that you said that because it's like those memes going around. If you haven't seen them, saying that how Nick Fury is played by Samuel Jackson, but Peter Parker or Captain America is getting into like all the Star Wars movies, and he doesn't notice that Mace Windu was played by Samuel Jackson, and it's just like, you're right,
Yeah.
it's just like all those tie-ins and stuff.
Those little
So I
Easter
like,
eggs. Yeah.
all we need is
yeah,
Peter to reference Scott Pilgrim for
Right.
Chris Evans and Brie Larson.
or you know what I want? Since Nick Fury is gonna be in Spider-Man: Far From Home, I would like Spider-Man to reference Pulp Fiction, like Ezekiel 25:17, something like that. I don't know. I think that would just be
oh,
fantastic because Samuel
Roy,
Jackson.
please.
You know what yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Royale with
you know what a
cheese.
Royale with cheese is?
He's
What they
like,
call it.
Mr. Fury, you ever ate a Big Kahuna burger? Oh man, that would complete me. Honestly, that'd be everything for me because I love Pulp Fiction. So, all right. So now we get all the Avengers. They're gonna go through the quantum realm. They got their missions. All right. Now we're gonna start with New York, 2012, the first Avengers movie. Let's start with you, Jackson. What did you think about all that? About them revisiting the first Avengers? What did you think about that?
I thought it was super interesting and definitely showing how this is fan service the movie, and I love it for
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Especially showing that iconic shot of them first and like establishing where they are, I think was fantastic. And this scene was, I think, the weirdest of all the time travel ones, definitely, because
Yeah.
the whole Captain America fighting Captain America thing, and
Mhm.
the Hail Hydra and all that, and which, as a side note, I love how they handled time travel in this movie.
Yeah. Same here.
Specifically saying like whatever we do in the past will not affect our future. That's set in stone. They will
Yeah.
create branching realities that will not affect us. So I like
Yeah.
the
I
way
think that
they
was
did that.
very interesting. Yeah.
But now I just want to see the alternate reality where Captain America fought himself.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see and in that same reality, they think Captain America is a Hydra agent.
Very true. I love that scene. That scene when he gets in the elevator, I like everybody else. I thought, here we go. We're gonna get the Winter Soldier all over again. I thought he was gonna say,
He's gonna say before we begin, does anyone
yeah,
want to get
does
out?
anyone want to get out? But no, he just leans in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
And I loved how that was a callback to. It felt like kind of a callback to that comic from a couple of years ago that everyone hated because
Oh, I heard about that.
yeah, they revealed Captain America, like Captain America Steve Rogers #1 at the end. They revealed him to be a Hydra sleeper agent the whole time, and everyone hated it,
Yeah.
including myself. It was terrible, but
Yeah. No, no, I agree. Zay, what did you think about New York 2012, the first Avengers,
it was
them revisiting that?
it was such fan service, but also I clapped every time they time jumped to like last
Right. It was so like did they because I noticed like they
scene
shot it from
and
different angles from
oh
their
man,
perspectives.
that scene.
Yeah, because when Iron Man's looking at them,
I didn't notice
Mhm.
that. Yeah, actually,
yeah, because Iron Man is looking at them and it's them, like what I'm saying, like they actually
yeah,
it looks like they shot those scenes all over again.
they did. Yeah,
That's crazy.
the
Oh my
amount of
god.
effort that went into this was insane.
Yes.
And like
That's
even
so
them
real. They
writing
really
new dialogue for showing what happened after that iconic shot of them all aiming at Loki, like writing new dialogue and a new scene for that.
yeah, that was so incredible. I loved it. Um,
So you tell me? Well, I'm sorry,
no,
but
go ahead,
you
go
mean to
ahead, go ahead. You good? Oh,
so you mean to tell me that when they showed the 360 with the Avengers finally becoming a team was shot twice? Like they
No,
reshot it
no,
because
I think that one was
that
taken
that was the
directly.
same.
I'm pretty sure that was taken
oh,
correctly.
Oh,
Yeah, it was when
It was like when they were
had
showing different perspectives, like from like the one scene, like the iconic shot, they had it like between the blinds and stuff when Tony was sneaking around, like that specific shot.
yeah.
They reshot that little section from a different angle.
and the cameos in the New York sequence blew my mind. You had, let's start with
The ancient one.
the ancient one. Yes, the ancient one. Did not expect Tilda Swinton to be in this film at all. Like,
I
what?
knew it because she was cast. I need to get off the internet.
I had no idea. Thank God I didn't have that spoiled for
I
me.
had no idea how she was going to be in the movie. I just knew that Tilda Swinton was like in the IMDb list for a long time.
Wow.
So I knew she was going to be in there somehow.
Oh damn.
If not just like a flashback. So this was still really cool. And like I like how they showed like that they were helping. Like, because when Doctor Strange came out, one of my thoughts was, well, what were they doing during the Battle of New York? They were helping out, from the sidelines, but they were still helping.
Yeah, she was protecting the sanctum. It was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty cool seeing her use her powers just to protect the sanctum, which would make sense because Doctor Strange, like you said, Doctor Strange was not there. Hulk arrived 5 years too early, and I love when she, she did that like a palm fist, whatever, like just knocked his spirit or whatever you call it, his conscience out of him.
Right, like how she did Stephen Strange and Doctor Strange, man.
I love that callback. Exactly what
was,
she did to Doctor Strange.
I find it interesting that she said. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. You go ahead.
All right, well, mine's kind of stupid, but no, what I was thinking was, I find it interesting she says that just a few blocks away that Stephen Strange is performing open surgery. Like, wait, he's doing that in the middle of an alien invasion?
Well, it could make sense because
I'm just thinking there's got to be something going wrong, especially with the way he does it.
I was
at that time.
I was scared for is when Bruce told Tilda Swinton that Thanos was given the gem by Doctor Strange. It made me think that she was gonna not have him become Doctor Strange. Am I the only person? I was all like, yo, he's saying way too much. Because she was looking at him and she was all like, he what? He gave the stone away? And then he was all like, yeah. And then I figured that she was gonna be like, oh, he doesn't deserve. He's not the true one.
I wasn't thinking that. I didn't know what to think. Well, no, I stopped trying to think about what this movie was going to do the second they cut off Thanos' head.
Right,
right.
Fine
enough. That's interesting. That's an interesting outlook. I didn't think of that myself, but I think that would have been over right there. It would have been no Doctor Strange if that was the case.
At least in that universe.
Yeah, in that universe. But speaking of that universe, I think that universe is going to come into play for one specific character, and that's Loki. Because guess what happens? He takes the Tesseract, and he just disappears. So now we get Loki Disney Plus show. I put that together the other day. I was like, holy shit! Now I understand why they did that. Because I don't know about you guys, but did you think Loki was going to show up at any point?
I absolutely thought they were going to bring him back, and I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't. But yeah, when he just teleported with the Tesseract, I'm like, oh shit, he's the wild card now. Is he going to show up and screw? Is he going to be the main villain like throughout Endgame? Like I don't know what was going to happen with that.
Hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to go do something real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, no problem. All right, so it's just you and me, Jackson. Let's go.
All right.
We'll speed run through this. All right, so now we get to Guardians, Volume 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, with Peter Quill doing his dance. And I love that shot of with Nebula and War Machine seeing him like singing.
Yeah, no, I love that. I see it from the perspective without the music.
Because when we saw it,
it was cinematic and cool, but I always thought from the outside that would look stupid.
Yeah, and that's what War Machine
He looked like an idiot.
Yeah, he's like, so he's an idiot. I love the humor. But yeah, we get Nebula and War Machine, and they get the Power Stone, and we gotta talk about Vormir. Let's jump into Vormir with Black Widow. We get Black Widow and Hawkeye. Now, when they get to Vormir, that's when it clicked for me. When they get to Vormir, like, oh shit, someone's gonna die.
Yeah, I
It,
figured that.
it, it clicked to me earlier when they were planning ahead. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured like that was gonna happen because on Vormir, like that was one of like the only tense planets because it was just like they're bringing two people on each mission, stuff like that, and it's just like man, the whole thing because I was thinking about it and I was all like, wait, aren't they getting the Soul Stone? And how did Thanos get it in the first place? He had to sacrifice somebody, the person that he loved the most. And just thinking about that made me so scared. And when I saw that they were fighting, like I thought that Hawkeye was trying to kill her so that she can sacrifice herself forcefully. I
What?
was all like, no, this is not true. But they were actually fighting so that they can like,
Yeah, no, they were trying to jump off.
yeah,
Both of
Mhm.
them. I think no, that scene was incredible, and probably of all the of the two big death scenes, that was probably the most brutal.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. I have
like,
to agree. That's when the tears started for me. Honestly.
that's when the tears continued for me.
Yeah. I was not ready to see Black Widow just die.
First two movies are
But it
prequel.
made sense. It made so much sense for her character because if you add them both up, she wanted to give Hawkeye that chance, that slim chance of bringing everybody back with the stones and having his family. The only family Black Widow had was them, the Avengers, and that's it. So it made total sense within her character to be the one to want to sacrifice herself for the Soul Stone. And yeah, the way it was shot, oh man, it was just as powerful as when Thanos sacrificed Gamora with the music and the
yeah,
Red Skull,
Yeah,
lurking in the background.
that was
Uh,
another scene where I thought, how did this get a PG-13? Because they straight up showed a bunch of blood pouring out of her head. Like,
yeah, just so many so
like
much violence in this movie, so much blood and
how did this get a PG-13? Like, I just saw a post that my aunt is taking my little cousin to go see this movie, and I'm like, I hope he enjoys it, but like, good God.
this had way more
right.
blood than the Dark Knight. Like,
It
wow.
probably did, actually, yeah.
You think about it, there's some disturbing shit in the Dark Knight. It's
The
like,
Dark Knight.
wow. That's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
on
But
Vormir was just beautiful and sad. Like I legit, that was my second time that I teared up when I seen Black Widow die. Cause man, like
I never
it,
expected to cry over Black Widow.
I fucking cried right there, man. That shit hurt me really bad.
yeah.
Like
What did it for me was Jeremy Renner's facial expression.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah,
God, that just killed me, man.
Renner is such an underrated actor. I think he's
He is,
fantastic.
man.
Like, did either of y'all see Wind River?
Love it,
Yeah,
masterpiece. Love it.
exactly. Yeah, no, Wind River. I'd still say that was the best performance of that year.
I
Jeremy
agree. I
Renner,
agree.
Wind River.
I
That
like.
was
Wind River is so underrated. Zay,
so
have you seen Wind River, Zay? Have you seen
No,
that
I
movie?
don't. Arrival. That was another film with him in. Have you seen that
yes.
one?
Oh,
Oh my God,
oh
he's so
yeah,
good at that.
Yeah,
The Hurt
that
Locker.
movie.
No, I love Jeremy Renner. I think he's fantastic, and I'm so glad he's getting a TV series so we can get more of Hawkeye or hopefully Ronan.
Yeah,
yeah.
He deserves it because he was sidelined in the first few movies. Like he had one little scene in Thor. He was
Mhm.
mostly on the opposite side during the Avengers and was kind of a joke for a bit. Like the butt of the joke of the Avengers. It wasn't until Age of Ultron they became more interesting.
Yeah. I
yeah,
agree.
But so I'm glad we're getting more of him. But that whole scene was heartbreaking, especially because it was shot in the exact same way with the same music as Infinity War, but it's two different reactions.
Exactly.
Thanos, it's like pure bittersweet. Like I'm about to accomplish my goal. I'm pretty sure Clint is thinking there must have been another way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And also, he wanted to be the one, so I imagine it's even worse. It wasn't like Thanos and Gamora fighting over it. They weren't. Thanos was like,
Yeah.
all right, daughter of mine, yeet.
I love you. Now give me the Soul Stone.
Hey, and you know
Yeah.
what's shit about that? He wanted to sacrifice himself in my eyes because he knew that they would accomplish this, and they are they gave him hope, and if his family was to survive, he'd rather have them survive than him, and just seeing
Right.
him try to like sacrifice himself right there, which is oh man, like just thinking about it right now is just so freaking emotional.
Them fighting about who's going to commit suicide is
That's so dark.
like I think that was like that, and one other moment that we'll get to, towards the end is what made me cry the hardest.
Yes,
Like, 'cause
yes,
that was just purely brutal to
yeah,
watch.
yeah.
When
So
when he finally gets the soul stone and like he's in the water and he's kneeling down, I was ready to tear up. If he had screamed like real like looked up and just started screaming, crying,
Oh, that would
I
have been painful.
really
yeah, that would have been brutal, man.
That
I
would
was
have.
already in tears in that whole moment, so that would have just sealed the deal for me, man.
that
uh,
would have
yeah,
done it. Like,
but we get more of that when he comes back because after. Oh wait, before we get to all the Avengers coming back, we can't forget about Thor. Thor visiting his mom Frida. What did you guys think about that? About going back to the Dark World, which is so funny because everyone shits on the Dark World, and I think it's all right.
Including myself.
Including, I know you. I know you don't like it.
I don't like it at
I
all.
actually felt good because I was like, finally, the movie everyone shits on has some relevance. You know,
I
it's
know, and
actually.
I might go back and rewatch The Dark World to see if I like it anymore after this, but we'll see.
yeah. But
Which,
would you
okay,
like Jackson?
what?
Would you like to go first about what you felt about it?
Well, I actually have a quick question. Did any of you notice specifically any of the people that was accompanying Frigga or Freya or however it's pronounced? Did you notice any of the specific girls that were following her?
No,
I
why?
Okay, because you remember a few months ago when it was said Catherine Langford was cast?
yeah, the girl from
She wasn't anywhere in the movie, and a bunch of people. I've heard that she's one of those girls.
for
Huh.
real because I was supposed to be in the movie too, and I thought that she was gonna be Scott Lang's daughter. Like when she
Yeah, I
got
thought she
older.
was going to be Cassie, but then I was like, wait, that's not. Wait a minute. So
Interesting.
yeah, so I'm that's what I'm looking out for in that scene. And
Hmm.
for what I thought about that scene in general, I thought it was really well done.
Hmm.
I especially with Thor and breaking down in front of his mom. Everything to do with Rocket was brilliant, especially when he
Oh, I
was
love
running out,
Rocket.
just like Thor, I got it.
I love how Rocket he I like how he just like he stood up. He was taking charge and he was there for Thor, just like Thor was there for Rocket in Infinity War. He slapped some sense into him, like, come on, like, I lost people too. Get your shit together, and I really like that about Rocket. He was stepping up in this movie so much.
I love Rocket and Bradley Cooper as him.
Right? And I forget the day of Bradley Cooper, A Star is Born. Yo, he's
Hey,
Rocket, man. Sometimes that slips my mind.
Someone made a parody of that with Rocket in the role yet. I
okay,
guarantee someone's had. I'm gonna have to look that up later.
You gotta look that up. A
uh,
Rocket singing Shallows. In the shadow.
I'd
and then
love to say, especially with Rocket's voice.
What are you saying, Zay?
he would be trying to like he'll sing the song and then he just ends up trying to steal like Lady Gaga's guitar or something. Just rock.
He just reaches into her purse real quick.
Yeah,
Right.
that would definitely be in Rocket's character within his character. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I like that conversation he had, heart to heart conversation with his mom. Then him getting Millionaire back with the hammer. I always don't know how to pronounce it
Mjolnir.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. He got his hammer back, and then Frida tells him, "Please eat a salad."
Well, and I just love his little reaction when he gets the hammer and he says, "I'm still worthy." Like,
Yeah.
Yes, and then the Guardians song starts playing. I really like that. I like the segue when that happens. But yeah, all the trips, in the past, in previous Marvel movies, was just genius. Like you said, it was fan service, but it was earned. It
it
was
was
like
earned and it was done right.
yeah, it was so well earned to this point. So why the hell not? And the last stop actually that we didn't touch on was the army base when we got Tony talking to his dad, and we got Cap seeing Peggy Carter again for the first time in a long time. So let's start with you, Zay. What did you think about this whole scene in the army base?
Um. I was thinking about something that happened in Thor. Can I go back on that just real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So that scene with his mom and like that whole scene was really sad, and they made like a little joke there, but I don't think it was intended to be funny. It was just like when she was all like, "You're not from here. Like you're not my Thor. Like from this time." And He was all like, "No, I'm not.
Oh yeah, I know what you're
I'm from
referring
the
to.
future."
Yeah.
Like it was just like that moment. Like it was subtle, but he wasn't trying to. It wasn't trying to be funny. Probably it just came off as funny, and it's just like so sassy in that
Mhm.
moment. But to get back on subject, that whole thing with Cap and seeing Peggy and all that just hurt me because all these characters were on every planet besides probably like Vormir, like they saw like something from their past, and they would want like real quick to just go to it. Like Cap, he wanted to see Peggy. Like he wanted to. He could have just went like this, and she would have looked in front of her and just saw Cap.
Mhm.
Like Tony wanted to talk to his father and tell him, "Hey, I'm your son. I'm doing great." Like oh, it's just like I wanted them so bad to do that, but we know you cannot mess with time.
Right. Jackson.
Well, Captain America: The First Avenger is, I think, incredibly underrated. I
I did too. I did too.
love that movie, and Cap and Peggy's romance is my favorite in the MCU, as short-lived as it was. So that
Yeah.
whole moment, when they went back to that army base, I'm like, are they gonna get their dance?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
whole thing. That was the big thing that I wanted to see from Cap. Like, of the other things that happened in the movie, I wanted to see from Cap, but that was the number one thing that I wanted.
All right.
We didn't get it in this scene, so I was worried they were blue balling us with it. But I think the real standout of that scene though was Tony with Howard,
Right.
by far, and also of course Hank Pym 70s hair.
Oh my God, the de aging on Michael Douglas is insane.
Oh my
How the
god,
hell
yeah.
did you do that? Like, oh my God,
I love seeing the original Ant-Man helmet in there too. I thought that was a really
that
fun
was a
call.
nice little Easter egg there. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing Cap, that's why Cap is the man. He doesn't compromise, what's most important. He doesn't compromise his mission. Same with Iron Man, but it
Howard
felt
Potts.
more for Cap because you know how much Peggy Carter means to him. I mean, we ended the first Avenger with Cap promising the last dance. The dance they were supposed to have, and
Yeah.
we'll get to that later. But yeah, it was heartbreaking seeing him, having to just glance at her and then having to go back to the mission. And I like that heart to heart conversation Tony had with his dad. Um,
Yeah.
Giving Tony some closure, I think.
yeah, giving him some closure. He finally like reconciled with his dad because he was never even close to him. I mean, you see it in Civil War when he saw Bucky kill his dad and his mom. He was more reacting to his mom. He even says it like, "I don't care. He killed my mom," because he never had a close relationship with his father. So I like that. Yeah, Tony got that closure, especially more so because of what happens in the end. And I like that conversation about that. Howard Stark was having his first kid and all that. All that was just great
Yeah.
little moments.
Yeah. I was thinking that because you know how I'm sorry, but when he told Tony that his wife was having a kid, I thought that he did to mention a few names for the kid, right? Or am I wrong? He mentioned that his wife
Like
wanted to name the something,
like
No,
Alejandro or something like that.
did he?
and
I,
I
I
was
didn't catch
that,
Well,
that.
I don't know if it was Alejandro, but he said something.
and I was thinking like in my mind, like I thought Tony was gonna say maybe like you should name him Tony or something, and like that would have been weird, but I don't know why I was just thinking like
Well,
that would have been like he gives himself his own name, just
well, the
something
way
weird.
time travel works, that wouldn't have necessarily done it for him specifically because the way this works in that movie, it just would have been this alternate universe. It's so weird.
Yeah,
Right.
but
I did like how Tony calls himself Howard Potts.
Yeah,
You like that?
yeah.
That was a nice little moment there.
Howard Potts.
Yeah, Howard Potts.
Hey,
Um,
thinking about
oh,
okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, 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 go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
Have you seen that movie? The
Which movie?
Oh, I was saying, when he was naming himself, when he said Howard Potts, I was just thinking about something funny. Like instead of him saying that, have you both seen that movie Dictator?
The Dictate. Yeah, is that? Yeah, I think I seen it, but I barely remember it.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
you haven't seen it. Oh, well, there's a scene where he's getting like interrogated, and the guy's like, "What's your name?" And he's just looking around him, and he's all like there's a bathroom, and he says his name is Ladies, and then he's all like, the guy's like, "What's your last name?" And he was all like, "Must wash hands" or something like that. So I was thinking that Tony was gonna look around and like think of like look at like a little word or something, and that would be his name. But no,
Right, right, or maybe like I don't know, like Steve Rogers. I was expecting them to
yeah,
say some shit like that. Like, I'm Steve Rogers. Like, what?
Like,
Wait,
wait a
what?
minute. Yeah, no, I get it all the time. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So now we wrap up the whole time heist. This is when the shit gets crazy. This is when everybody's on edge of their seat. So they come out. We see that Tony Stark has made his own Infinity Gauntlet through Stark Tech. And the only person that can take and absorb all 6 stones, all the energy, is Hulk. And I like that Thor wants to do it. He's so like desperate to redeem himself, even though he really doesn't have to, but he feels that way. He feels like he's such a failure.
Yeah.
But he wants to do it, and Tony's like, no, 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 you're not in the right state of mind, buddy. And then Hulk is the one to do it. And while that's happening, we see that Nebula, past Nebula, switched like her faceplate, like so it's the past Nebula, and she brings in Thanos, freaking 2014, bloodthirsty in his prime. Thanos, and his
Nope.
ship just shoots up. His ship shoots up from the quantum realm, and I love that shot of Hulk after he passes. He's like almost about to pass out after he snaps his fingers, and he looks up, and he just sees the silhouette of the ship,
Yeah.
like the just blocking out the sun, and that's when all hell breaks loose, and then Thanos just rains hell. He annihilates the Avengers compound. I love how it was shot. It was like there was no audio. It went silent for like like a few seconds, and he just launched a shitload of torpedoes. It was nuts. What like okay, Jackson, we'll start with you. What did you think about all of that? What did you
I
think?
thought they straight up killed Ant-Man.
Yes, I thought that too. I thought he was gone.
Like, I was like, wait a second, my boy Scott Lang finally gets in the big leagues, and this is how you do him in.
This is how you do him. No.
Yeah, no, I was glad when he was like, no, and I thought, like, that whole scene was beautifully shot and epic and scary, but I think my favorite aspect of it was when Scott was walking up to, just to the windows and seeing the birds and thinking it worked. I thought that was beautiful, and then getting taken out right away. That was an incredible scene, the way they did that. Especially since this is, like you said, bloodthirsty Thanos. This is pre I'll do it myself Thanos.
Yes.
Sending Nebula to do the dirty work. So it's an even angrier, arguably worse Thanos.
Ooh, yeah, man. Very menacing, very just vicious, man. Like he gives no F's. Like this Thanos is not here to balance things out. He's here to wipe everything out, clean slate. Like it's crazy, man. Well, Zay, what did you think about all that?
Yo, can I before I tell you what I thought about that? That scene when Nebula, okay, you know how Nebula was tricking everybody and how she just took that piece off, and they actually acted like she was the regular Nebula.
Yeah.
I wish was Steve Rogers right there. Steve Rogers was there, huh? Yeah, he was. I was just that Steve Rogers was like looking at her in subtle ways, and she was like giving off a strange vibe. You remember in Winter Soldier when they were in the elevator and they were just giving vibes? That's what I was wishing, that he can like catch on to it, and then like zap her or something so that she can be like held captive or something. But no, it didn't happen. Like they really just didn't even think about it.
Well, they kind of had bigger things on their mind than the chance that maybe a second Nebula took over another Nebula.
Right, and she's one that doesn't really emote well. She's not one to like show emotions or be expressive or
that aren't pure anger and rage.
Exactly. So they really don't know her that well. So they don't know her as well as the other Avengers members for them to start to speculate or suspect. Oh, maybe there's something wrong with this Nebula. She's not acting like the Nebula we know. So it makes sense.
There that knows her is Tony. Like
yeah.
But
So it makes sense that they wouldn't just pay attention to her. They were more focused on the stones and all that. But it was you going back to seeing past Nebula and Gamora, and I love how they reintroduced them, and it was such a smart way. The script is so smart how they brought these characters back from that timeline into the present day. That just blew my mind. when that shit happened,
Yeah.
and the way they used Nebula as like I guess like a plot device, yeah, but it made sense.
To an extent.
Yeah, it made sense that her I guess AI, her artificial intelligence, was interfering with the old nebulas, and then they got to see what the future Nebula saw, and I love that scene too. Yeah, with Thanos, smiling and being like completely satisfied that he accomplished his mission, and he sees himself say it is inevitable, and
I
just like
like that it clearly shows that Thanos doesn't know how time travel works.
right,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
exactly, exactly. But yeah, I just loved how they weaved them into the story, so it just raised the stakes even more because this Thanos, it was not effing around, especially with his Titan gold armor, and he had like that double bladed, like a sword or staff. Oh my god, dude, I was just like, I was on edge.
Yeah, I was whenever they were showing that, that weapon and, promotion, I was wondering like why is he going to use the weapon? Like, he's super powerful.
Yeah,
But
he
it
got the
never
ability
occurred to
stone.
me that this would have been a 2014 Thanos. Like that thought
Exactly.
never crossed my mind. Even when time travel was theorized, never crossed my mind that
Never
was
crossed, but yeah, I never put that together that like a past Thanos will come into the future and just wreak havoc. That was brilliant. I loved the way they did that. It made perfect sense, and it just gives more like gravitas to what Thanos says. Like, I am inevitable, which is true. Like every time you come near these stones, these Infinity Stones, you're gonna have to deal with me, and I love that.
Hey, can we
Um,
just go to the part? Can we? We got. There's a little thing before that with War Machine and the new Nebula, and when they're like trying to get Quill and the Power Stone and all that. Oh, that whole thing. It was just so
yeah,
intense finding out
Mhm.
that now knows about the stones and all that. Like that just built it up even more. Like it built it up so freaking bad. Like and I was just like, I was literally on the edge of my seat because it's just like, oh, he knows. Like,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
yeah. I felt so bad for Nebula because she wanted to help out and basically unintentionally compromised everybody. She
Yeah.
doomed everybody because of what she knew, and yeah, that was a powerful moment
And
right there.
well, I think it's also interesting because like she is especially changed so much over those many years, and no one wants to see their past self, but especially not her, and she has to directly confront it quite
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
So I think that's just an incredible reversal, and especially to show how she's changed. Going from this scared girl who just wants to please her dad, so he'll stop abusing her.
yeah,
And to an extent, I think it's kind of nice that she kind of gets his approval by the end, but that's beside the
yeah,
point. Um,
exactly.
it's harrowing, and I thought Nebula was like we said earlier, just fantastic in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. Now we get to the main event, and we have the
That last
Marvel.
hour,
Passed out.
What happens? What
just
happens
that
today?
last hour,
Yeah, the last
all
hour.
of it.
Yeah, the last hour, guys. Like the main event, we got the Marvel Holy Trinity. We got Thor, Iron Man, and Cap going against Thanos in his prime, the Mad Titan, and oh my god, I can't even begin. I started getting chills, like goosebumps. Like I was like, shit, this is it. This is what it built up to, and just that shot of Thanos just putting his sword down on the ground and just waiting. He's like, I'll wait.
Oh, that was incredible. I thought.
I know. And then did you see that shot of? I love that shot of them like they're like on the hill, and Thanos is there in the bottom, and then
Mhm.
Thor. That's when Thor summons his hammer. He gets his godlike suit back. He gets the Thor armor back.
His beard gets like braided.
Yeah, and then by the power of
So cool.
lightning, it braids his beard. He has like this.
I love it. I
Yes,
love it
he
so
has
much.
like this Big Lebowski Viking look. Oh,
Yeah, I noticed that, and it was just like, why the beard braided? But hey, it did not. All
this
that you
is the
did
god of lightning and braiding
doesn't.
beards.
So much fun.
Yeah. Well, Jackson, what did you think about that, man?
Well, when it comes to the last hour, I was crying consistently throughout the entirety of it. And when I say that, I mean literally nonstop.
Right.
I mean, there was no pausing. Like I say, like throughout the entire movie, like there were breaks in between for the first 2 hours. This last hour was constant. And it started with that shot of them going up against Thanos, those three,
Yes.
which I think so many people are like wondering, like, what's going to be the Thor coming into Wakanda scene of this movie? There are so many to choose from. And I think it all starts with that. Like,
I will say for me, the Thor coming to Wakanda scene, the one here in Endgame was when Cap is revealed to be worthy. Oh my god.
oh yeah, I think that's what it's probably going to end up being. But
that and then the Avengers Assemble. We'll get to that. But for me, is that like it topped that scene in Infinity War when Cap gets the hammer, and then I love Thor's like smug look. He's like, yeah, like he knew.
his words were, "I knew it."
Yeah, like I knew it. You are worthy before he gets kicked in the face by Thanos.
No, I was worried they were going to kill Thor there. Like, Thor was getting close with the axe in the chest, which was a nice little reversal from the previous movie. But the second they had that shot of it just lifting up, there were two possibilities: either Thor was grabbing it, was reaching for it, or the better option, which we got, it was Captain America about to chuck it.
Yeah.
And
Zay,
that shot of him with his shield and then grabbing it is
yeah. I think I let out a girlish scream too. I was like, ah! I was already fangirling.
Oh, my Captain America fanboy heart.
Yeah, I was straight up fangirling out. I wasn't even fanboying out. Fuck it. Zay, what did you think about Cap being worthy, wielding the shield and the hammer? What did you think about all that?
It didn't like hit me that it was him picking it up at first, right? Like probably
Right.
like immediately thought, but I just thought it was Thor summoning it, and I was all like cool, because man, that was intense. Thanos really had him like I thought Thor was really about to die right there, like he was really about to die. But when it went back, like it wasn't supposed to go back. It was supposed to go to Thor, It came back to somebody, and it was boom, Cap. And I'm just like, yo, that was like the biggest like what the fuck moment ever, because I was just like, what? Like, oh my goodness. I think I screamed louder in that moment.
Yeah, same here.
And
Cap like entering Wakanda from Avengers hype, like Infinity War hype. Like, oh, the hype was unreal in that moment.
Yeah, it was like in that moment the Russo brothers was like, oh, Thor just showed up in Wakanda. Okay, hold my beer.
Yeah, how about this?
Yeah, like, how about this, guys? Like, what the fuck?
No, and Cap wielded that thing like he was a Norse god. Like he had
some my god, like
he was with those shield with that
he
shield.
Was doing 3-hit, 4-hit, like fucking combos, like
with the shield and coming back and then throwing lightning down on Thanos as he was crawling on the ground.
When he was doing some straight up like Street Fighter moves on him. I was like, what? I just fuck. It was so good. It was. Yeah, man. Like, I was speechless. I was like, oh my god. But still, that wasn't enough. As the fighting progressed, man, like Thanos is OP. Like in this state that he's in, you forget that Thanos is like this, bloodthirsty warrior. Like, I mean, you look back at Infinity War, he just manhandled the Hulk, and he really held his own against them without the stones. So, I was worried there for a minute when his army came down.
Well, that shot of Cap facing down that army is gorgeous. Yeah. That and one other shot is probably my favorite shot in the movie.
Yeah.
There was so many beautiful shots in this movie, but that right there, like I just want to hang that up on my wall. Like that was a beautiful.
I'm probably going to.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any MCU posters yet. Might as well.
Right. Hey, yeah. The only MCU poster, well, I have two actually. I have Thor Ragnarok, and I have Infinity War, and then I'm ordered the Endgame poster.
I'm trying to get my friend who works at the theater to get me one, but we'll see.
Right, like hook it up, buddy. Come on. Yeah. So now we get now we get to like the most. Oh my god, the greatest gift to mankind. Basically, this is this is what we've been waiting for. I didn't. It's crazy because I just like overlooked it. It just glossed over me that the snap worked or not. It did. It did work, but I didn't think that all the Avengers would just show up. Like
I thought
all of them.
It was
All
Doctor
of them.
Strange. No, and then when it was Falcon who said on your left,
Yes, I love that callback.
and
Oh my
then I saw T'Challa walk in, and that's when it really started coming.
god. Hey, this is when it was just raining down waterfalls like in my
Oh my god!
eyes.
And then okay, look, once I saw the shot of the ones from it was Strange and it was Quill and it was Mantis, I'm like, oh, show me my boy, show
Where
me
is
my
he?
boy,
Yeah.
and then him swinging in. I think that was the only time I was actually audible in the movie. So I try
You
and be
know?
quiet as much as humanly possible, but nah, I couldn't. I
Oh
couldn't
man,
do it.
everybody was
Seeing
cheering.
Peter again, especially since that's what just made me sob the hardest in Infinity War.
Yeah, same here. My God, this was 11 years in the making, and it paid off
it paid off so well.
spectacularly. This was, God, this was the most epic, like final hour to a movie that I've ever seen. Like,
No,
it,
it's
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 up there with like Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
no. This is Marvel's Return of the King.
Yes, exactly.
100%. This is
Yes.
Marvel's Return of the King. And now since they've done this and they've given us a finale, they can do whatever they want.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Like
For real, because we already got to experience this entire MCU buildup in this one movie in Endgame, and oh man, it was perfect, man. Seeing Strange open up the portals and everybody was there. You had Black Panther with his entire tribe of people. Even M'Baku came back. That was fucking great. You saw Shuri there. Guardians of the Galaxy. Ant-Man growing big. Ant-Man grows big again. He's giant man. He saves the Hulk, War Machine, and Rocket, and he like punches a ship. It's like
That scene right there was literally that scene of him punching the ship was like when in Aquaman the big old Kraken character bit that big old ship. Like, and I seen this movie. I got the chance to see it in IMAX 3D, and just to be able to see that scale of Ant-Man at his fullest size with all of everything going on under him was just beautiful. That shot was beautiful. Oh my goodness! Like that was the most characters I've ever seen in any Marvel film. Like that beat every single movie. Like there was so many things going on in that one shot. It was
yeah, yeah. Like, and of course, he finally says it. Cap says it. The magic words we all been waiting for. Avengers. And he catches the hammer.
assembled. Yeah,
Assemble. Yes.
oh my
Oh
god.
man, Jackson, what you thought
that,
about that? What did you guys think about that?
Well, there were
that
three big
made
things I wanted from Cap in this movie. It
Yeah.
was Mjolnir, that, and something else we'll talk about. And getting those two so close to each other, especially Avengers Assemble, right after you see everyone come back. I think that and Mjolnir was probably the loudest cheering
Oh
in
yeah.
the theater for me. And I was right there with them, like clapping along. And that was incredible. Like waiting ever since 2012 to hear Captain America say those words.
yeah.
7 years, and to hear him say them for the first time in this regard,
Yeah.
it couldn't have been done better. I think.
Yeah, I agree. What did you think, Zay? What do you think about that moment?
It couldn't have lived up to the hype. I remember seeing Age of Ultron in theaters, and at the end, when he's
I'm
assembling
totally
his
blue
wand,
balling us with that ending.
Yeah.
what happened?
Them totally blue balling us with that ending.
Right.
Avengers.
Yes. Yes.
But like I was saying, like yeah, like seeing that in theaters and seeing him recruit these new characters, and then right when he was about to say assemble and they just cut it, I was just like, oh, like that felt like the best moment, and I was just like, nothing, like I was like, nothing can compete to this, hey. But then the Russo's brothers probably were just like, oh, okay, Isaiah, hold my beer real quick. They pulled this off, and it delivered, it delivered, and it could not have ever lived up to the hype mark. Like it was just beautiful.
Yep. The Russo brothers were like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna have him say it, okay? Yeah, so
We're gonna do it right.
yeah, man. Oh man, that was perfect, man. You got Wasp back with Ant Man. Valkyrie on a Pegasus.
Oh,
My God,
I was
that
so
was
happy.
just
I love Valkyrie so much. I was so happy. I was like, just look at my gay icon right across a Pegasus into battle. This was amazing.
yo.
Yeah,
I
I
love
too.
that.
And seeing from Ragnarok, it was amazing. Her and Thor just talking,
Yeah, like man, like seeing everybody there, everybody. Scarlet Witch, she was there.
She got her
Oh,
revenge, and I loved it.
oh, that let's talk about
Especially
it.
since,
We're gonna try to cover every
uh,
single moment in this battle. So
oh, good luck with that.
I know we'll try though.
We'll try our
With my
best.
memory. Hold on, we'll try. So let's start with the Scarlet Witch. I love that moment, man. She actually overpowers Thanos, and I always thought she was one of the most Avengers members, like
Well,
especially Civil War.
well, here's the thing. She is so depowered in these movies because if she was at full strength like she can be in the comics, she could do what Thanos did with her mind.
That's true, yeah.
So this was great to see, especially since what happened. While Spider-Man of course hit me more, I think the hardest thing to watch in Infinity War was her with Vision.
She liked that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I loved her acting in Infinity War. Like she had like that her bottom lip like quivering and trembling when she had to destroy Vision. And kudos to Elizabeth Olsen.
I was so glad to see her get her revenge.
But it was such an epic moment. Like Thanos knew he was fucked. Like he actually said, "Rain down hellfire on them" or something. Just do it.
No, and I loved her line, like, "You took everything from me," and he's like, "I don't even know you. You will."
Yeah. You will. Yeah, oh, I love that.
Well, technically, no, he won't, but well.
Zay, what do you think about that moment with Scarlet Witch versus Thanos?
Yeah, man, it was Elizabeth Olsen. Like she was one of the characters in Age of Ultron whose acting I wasn't like that okay with, but it was still decent to me. But in Infinity War, her acting was just amazing. That shot when you hear her like just go, like she shivered and just like you heard her like get super freaking scared when Thanos first arrived, and that acting like it sold me that she was like really scared, like she was so freaking terrified for Vision, and just seeing her blew me away. The acting was amazing, like because he took like one of the greatest things from her, like Vision, and her brother died in like the previous Avengers movie, so I was just like to see her get revenge on him was just so satisfying as a Marvel fan and as a fan of these movies, it was just
beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Another great shot within that battle was we got to see Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper Potts, in the rescue iron suit.
Yeah,
man, shit.
That was badass.
That was, and then her and Tony had that shot where they were like back to back, just shooting blasts, like shooting lasers in all kinds of directions. It was fuck. It was so epic.
That shot right there, that shot was like the equivalent to me personally as a fan of all these movies. That shot of her and Iron Man just shooting the lasers to me was from the Avengers when he was shooting it to Cap's vibranium shield, and it was just directing to all the stars. Like, it was just so beautiful and epic.
So many great moments. One that was a standout. Oh, what you guys think was? We'll go with Jackson. When Captain Marvel shows up, and I thought it was just so epic the way she shows up. Like they're firing missiles in the sky, and I'm just like, what the hell are they firing at? It's Captain Marvel, and she just takes down the mothership And then we get that epic shot of, like, I guess A Force, the women
A-Force
Avengers.
was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yes, yes, it was.
I loved that. I love the women of Marvel.
That was
That
such.
was incredible. Like, and I thought the moment with Scarlet Witch, Okoye, and Black Widow was cool in Infinity War.
Oh,
This
this
was
topped it. Like,
better. And some people are like complaining, like, "Oh, that was just so forced." It's like,
no, it wasn't. It was
no, it
earned.
wasn't, and it was awesome.
It was
Even if
awesome.
it was forced, it was super cool.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god, it was so empowering. It's so fucking badass, and I want to see an A Force movie. Like,
Too.
especially-
Oh my god, yes.
yeah.
Just
Zay,
like
what
to
do you
see
think about that?
Yeah, just to see all these different characters who are all female for once, like a female-led a Marvel film, you know? Like Captain Marvel was the first female superhero to have her own movie, but to see an entire, like, basically the female Avengers, and just to see, like, I just want to see Mantis, like, say some quippy, funny thing to, like, Okoye, and she's just like, what? Like, just like, I just would love to see that.
Yeah,
more
that
participation.
banter and interaction would just be so amazing.
Give us A-Force Marvel.
Yeah, let's make it happen, Marvel. Come on, A Force.
I want it.
To happen. You seized it. Make our dream.
We gotta have it now. Like,
yeah. Hashtag whatever it takes. Hashtag
A Force. No, I want it. I don't even know how they'd get all those characters together, but I didn't know how they'd get all those characters together back in 2012. So I'm sure they can do it.
I know, man. Like, oh damn. This is when I really started. Well, I was breaking down the whole movie. I was just like cheering, but with tears in my eyes. But this is when I really started breaking down, was when Spider-Man, he comes into the picture. He sees Iron Man, and you know how Peter Parker is. He always tries to explain things. He's like, "Hey, Mr. Stark, I was dusted a while back, and now I'm back." And and all Tony wants to do is just embrace him. I love that moment.
Yeah,
Those two have.
it just reminds me of that moment in Homecoming when Peter goes for the hug and he's like, "Nope, not a hug. We're not there yet."
Exactly, and no, they're there now, and
They're there.
yeah, man,
What I really loved about that is it confirmed. I was worried about something when I first heard the theory about time travel, and it's that they were going to do it. They were going to reverse the snap, but none of them would remember that they died. And
right.
I was really glad that all these characters remember that, because that still establishes stakes.
Right. I guess it makes sense that they would remember, and they got snapped in the moment. It's like, in a sense, they were put like in a frozen hiatus status, in a sense.
Basically, yeah.
So that's so interesting. What's going to be more interesting, though, is going forward, seeing all these people that disappeared during the snap come back in this 5 years that have passed, and they're going to see people they know older. You know what I mean? And that's just going to be so fascinating. How are people going to interact with each other?
They better not wash over that in Far From Home.
Yeah, so like that's actually what I'm looking forward to in this new Spider-Man movie, and I hope they explore that.
I'm really looking forward to Far From Home. It looks really good, but I'm also worried because it's Sony and because of what they did with Ant-Man and the Wasp last year. I do like Ant-Man and the Wasp quite a bit, but it did definitely feel a bit watered down because of Infinity War.
Right.
And a part of me is worried they're going to do the same thing. I'm thinking maybe not, because this one's a lot more bittersweet than just, because Infinity War was just sad and depressing.
Right.
This one's a bit more bittersweet, I think, and a bit more triumphant and happy. So I don't worry that as much, but I'm really hoping they don't gloss over that. I want to hear about Peter's reaction to Tony. What happens with Tony. I want to hear how how the world has been affected. I want to hear about how he feels about how he died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to hear how Aunt May reacted to that.
That's true.
Unless she died too, and we just didn't know.
I think she got snapped too, because then they would have to make her older, because Marissa Tomei is quite old. I mean, she don't look old.
Yeah, I think she has the Paul Rudd syndrome, where she just doesn't age.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Oh my god. I know.
She doesn't have it as bad as Paul Rudd does, because good God, that man's look the same. Like, whenever Friends is on or something, I'll see Paul Rudd in there and be like, he looks the same.
Yeah, he looks.
This is the man
Exactly.
who just saved the universe.
Mm-hmm. I think he has more than just pen particles. He has like the fountain of youth or some shit. He has that formula that makes him
That
look
man is
30 and
50
50.
years
Like what?
old. Oh my
They
God.
they probably, you know how Ant-Man said that in our time it was 5 years, but in his time it was 5 hours. They probably aging like that. Like Marissa Tomei probably ages from like the quantum realm. Like
Just in between movies, they go into the quantum
Yeah,
realm
they
for
go
a
into the
bit.
quantum realm. All right, I gotta stay young. All right,
We figured it out,
I'll see you
guys.
here.
give me a
Yeah,
break.
I expect to see someone at our doors assassinating us soon.
right. Shit, they're on to us.
I'm sorry, Mr. FBI agent. It wasn't my
They're
fault.
gonna send Secret Service after us. They're gonna take the pin particles. They're gonna be like miniature size.
You're getting stuck in the quantum realm, boy. You're going subatomic.
they're gonna regrow in size, like and just take us out. Like it's gonna be crazy. But anyway, what did you guys think about that moment when oh man, when Captain Marvel versus Thanos for a brief moment, and she gets a hold. She's so strong, and I love the way they displayed her powers more so here than in the standalone Captain Marvel, where she has so much power she's able to prevent him from snapping. And it looked like at one point when she was holding the gauntlet, like she was absorbing the powers of the stones.
She might have been.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
before
might.
he ripped out the power stone and just gave her a humble
Knocked her into
sandwich.
next week.
Yeah, yeah, like oh man,
I thought that was incredible. Like, especially like when he goes to headbutt her a couple times and she just
yeah.
it just bounces off by sheer will of her awesomeness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm too awesome. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, no, I love that. And anyone who ever said she was going to be a Deus Ex Machina always annoyed me.
Yeah,
Because there was no way that was ever going to happen. The second he ripped that Power Stone, I'm like, yep, here it comes.
and I
And
like that they did that. I like
Yeah.
that he clocked her. He gave her like a humble awakening.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a big part of her character arc for her next few appearances. And I do really like that she stopped him from snapping, because she is going to be a huge part of the MCU going forward. She's going to be, a big part of it. And I like that this is kind of a passing off, her stopping that initial snap.
Yeah, and then now we get to the oh boy, we get to the most emotional, devastating, like fetal position, just tears-inducing scene when Iron Man gets a hold of the gauntlet. But even before that, I like that interaction he has with Doctor Strange, a brief interaction where he asks Doctor Strange, is if this is it, if this is the one chance. Doctor Strange tells him, I can't tell you because if I tell you, it may not happen. And when the moment comes, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he looks at Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange just goes like this, like
the one, yeah.
the one. This is it. And he knew right then and there. God, I love that. I love it. Was one of the most powerful moments in the entire MCU when Thanos says, "I am inevitable," snaps, clink, and then you see Iron Man, and he goes, "No, I am Iron Man." Snaps and just decimates Thanos, the Black Order, Ebony Maw, all of them. God, man,
that was the other moment I'm thinking might be a Thor in Wakanda. It's like it's either going to be Cap with Mjolnir, which is what I'm leaning towards, or it's going to be "And I am Iron Man."
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, as great as that is, and as much as I'm probably going to cry during it tomorrow, I kind of ruined it for myself because the other day, or yesterday actually, I was just thinking about that, and for some reason, this scene popped in my mind. So you know that Scooby-Doo movie that James Gunn wrote?
I heard that James Gunn wrote a Scooby.
Yeah, there's a scene in that movie where the bad guy goes, in the second one, where the bad guy goes, "Who do you think you are?" And Scooby goes, "Scooby, Dooby, And that's all I think about now when I think about the Iron Man.
That is hilarious.
I have kind of ruined it for myself, but whatever.
Zay, what do you think about the I Am Iron Man sacrifice? What do you think about that?
That whole thing with Iron Man, like taking the gauntlet, was just like it was just unbelievable. The fact that he actually did it, and I didn't even see him actually like switch it out. Like he is so
Yeah.
swift with his movement. Like boom, like like how did he prevent
Crazy
Thanos
sleight of
from doing
hand.
that? You know, like
He had the sleight of hand perk activated.
Or natural 20 sleight of hand.
But yeah, just before that though, like yeah, like you guys were saying, the whole thing with Captain Marvel was just crazy. I didn't even notice because I knew that she has that power to absorb stuff, but I wasn't paying attention to if she was, because there was just like she has that type of glow around her, you know, like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it looked all it was just a glow, but it could have been her absorbing it. And if so, like that would be even crazy, like for her to like absorb it and like
Right. So yeah, so we get to moving on. We get to Iron Man's death, and I thought the way it was executed,
it wouldn't make sense because it's already like powerful, you know.
What was that? What was that?
Unreal, like it was
What happened, Zay?
Oh, it was just a disaster. Like to me, like it just like broke my heart so bad. Like
yeah, yeah. Like I like how they shot that. You know, Iron Man just being half burnt, like and just laying there, and then Rhodey had his moment, and then Spider-Man had his moment as well.
They reversed that scene with Peter from Infinity War, and I'm gonna throw hands with whoever came up with that.
Oh man,
that broke my heart.
Yeah, it was that reversal, man, that really nailed it home for me. Like, oh man, it was so devastating.
And just the shot of the arc reactor going out as Pepper had her hand over it, I'm pretty sure.
I was uncontrollably crying and sobbing. Like I was trying so hard not to, start whimpering like I couldn't help it, man.
There was a girl behind me who throughout the entire movie was just so loud sobbing out. It didn't annoy me. I was just thinking the whole time, same girl, same.
Yeah. And what just flat out just destroyed me was Pepper. You could tell she's holding it together, and she's telling Iron Man in his final moments, she's holding it together. You could kudos to Gwyneth Paltrow, fantastic acting. She was basically reassuring him, "It's okay, everything's gonna be fine. You can rest now." And when that arc reactor goes off, that's when she broke down, and that's when I was like, "I'm fucking done."
Screw this movie. I don't need to take this.
Yeah.
Right. Like, too much shit. Like, oh.
Man, that messed me up, man. So it's just, man, it's crazy when you look back on it. It started with Iron Man with those words, "I am Iron Man," and then the saga ends with him saying it, I am Iron Man." It was a fitting end to such an emotional journey for Tony Stark, for Robert Downey Jr. So, like, I can't praise him enough.
I wasn't ready to say bye to Tony yet, but the way they did it was brilliant. Just
right, and I'm glad it wasn't one of those things where they copped out, like oh he's not dead, they pull a gimmick or something, or they used one of the stones to bring him back. I like that they actually went ahead with that, and it just felt like so right, like a series finale to an 11-year ongoing TV show that you're fully invested in. So it just paid off,
Yeah. Like to me, when I seen Infinity War and that battle on Titan, and when he fought Thanos, and it was just like, man, like we can probably lose Iron Man when he got stabbed. It was just like, yo, this is it. Like,
that's exactly what I was thinking in that scene. Like, this is it. This is where it happens, and I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a year to prepare for this one, and I wasn't ready, and it actually happened this time.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Man, like.
Yeah. So, R.I.P. Iron Man. We go to the funeral, and everybody's there.
They even had
I love,
Harley there.
huh?
They even had Harley there from your favorite movie, Dwight, Iron Man 3.
I was gonna ask you that, guys, that because I saw the movie twice. This is if there's one nitpick of this film,
it was that they referenced Iron Man 3, your favorite movie.
Yeah, like, they reference Iron Man 3. Fuck this movie. It's a 7 out of 10.
I like Iron Man 3.
It's a 7 out of 10. They ruined it. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
I like Iron Man 3, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but like, like that. I don't know. Like, I didn't notice that was him, the kid from Iron Man.
The same actor.
And yeah, that's the same actor. I had to look it up because I saw it twice, and I still, for the life of me, I was like, "Who the hell is this kid? Is just some random extra?" It's like,
in all fairness, the only reason I knew my first viewing is because I remember hearing that they cast him. Yeah. And it was like, oh, I wonder how he's going to be in there. The second they showed his funeral, I'm like, and that's him.
Yeah, I mean, it just threw me for a loop, especially people that, like if they're not familiar with Iron Man 3, they've never seen it, or just didn't care for it. And I'm in the category where I just didn't care for it, so that was easily glossed over. That kid, like, I felt like he didn't really have that much relevance. I mean, I don't know. Like,
well, it wasn't like he had some crazy monologue or anything. He had one shot.
Right, but it was,
which is all Marissa Tomei got too.
Right, but like, but you recognize everybody in that funeral. You're like, this, that's Spidey, that's Aunt May, that's, you recognize everybody, but he sticks out like a sore thumb because it just, the camera lingered on him, and I'm just like, who is this kid? Is he the caregiver?
Well, I think once people learn about like who he is, I think it'll be much more affecting, because that was my favorite part of Iron Man 3 is his relationship with Harley.
Oh, okay, but anyway, yeah, like I
Peter.
Yeah, like that. I had no idea until I looked it up, and I was like, oh, the kid from Iron Man 3. Okay. Oh, I guess he's grown up now. Okay, well, I guess it does make sense. Like, he was part of Tony Stark's life. So, but yeah, that funeral was done. It was so good. You got to see Nick Fury,
and especially like.
Was that Zay?
Yeah. Yeah, I got really teary-eyed, and
Zay, you still with us? You gotta break it.
Like, I started crying when I saw him because, like, just remember Iron Man 3, huh? No, just like I started crying when I saw Hartley because, like, just knowing like how he was, just like seeing him grown up,
right?
Like, because of how far Iron Man 3 was. But I was gonna tell you guys something, because I heard that he was going to be in this movie, but I looked up on IMDb and it said that he was going to be in it, but it said, like, under his name, it said Speedy. And if you guys don't know,
right,
Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, in the comics, her and Vision have two kids named Speedy and Wicked. Like, whoa, like, he's about to be in this and he's gonna have powers, just like in the comics, because he's a part of the team called Avengers. You ever heard of that?
No, I don't think I have. No.
Like the young version of, like, it's like the sidekicks basically, and he was a part of it.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think I heard of that. I honestly know.
That could be interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah. But yeah, just the way that funeral played out, with, the arc reactor, like, this is proof that Tony Stark has a heart, was great. I even like that small little moment with Happy, the bodyguard Jon Favreau, talking to Iron Man's daughter Morgan and asking her, well, what does she want to eat? And she said cheeseburgers, and that harkens back to the first Iron Man when Tony Stark came back from being a POW, and the first thing he wanted to eat was cheeseburgers. So I love that, man.
I went and got cheeseburger right after the movie because of that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I
I
did.
actually ended up doing that too. Yeah, I ended up going to
I ate a
Denver.
cheeseburger while crying.
just,
Oh my.
just stressing
Tony lick cheeseburger.
emotionally.
Yeah.
That's the saddest meal ever.
Yeah, man.
I love
Oh man.
Morgan 3000.
Same here, man. Same here. Oh man,
Can
so
you
good.
imagine? Okay, can you imagine like she grows up and Pepper like gives her like a suit and stuff? That would be awesome.
It'd be cool if she became like rescue after a little while.
That
Yeah,
would be cool.
Like
Yeah.
like after Pepper's done it. I wonder if they're gonna do more with Pepper as rescue or not.
that's a good question.
Or
I don't know.
maybe she'll stop because Tony died or
Right.
Right.
I heard that Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't want to come back or something like that. So I don't
probably
know.
yeah, probably not. I just hope we get more of Morgan. I'd be fine. I think this ended Pepper's story nicely as well. I just want more of
Yeah.
Morgan in my life.
Yeah.
Same here, man. Same here. So now we move on from that, and now we get the ending to Cap, where
My
he
favorite
goes
part
to
of the movie.
return the stones.
That part crushed me. That part
Oh
crushed me.
man, and it was such a fitting end to his character. He goes through. They're waiting for him to come back. He doesn't. Instead, they see an old man sitting on the bench, and it's Cap, because Cap decided to give the love of his life the final dance, man. That dance he promised her, Peggy Carter. Oh man, I just damn just
I
uh,
was so happy. Like I said earlier, Peggy and Cap's romance is my favorite in the MCU. I think the ending of the first Avengers one of the best in the MCU. Like
right,
up there with Infinity War levels good, I think. I think it's fantastic. And to
right,
finally see this dance, that was the big thing that I wanted. Without I'm so glad we got Mjolnir and Avengers Assemble, but I honestly wanted the dance more.
right.
Yeah.
And the fact that the movie's last shot was their kiss, that
Oh
was
yeah,
for me
that
at
was
the very
everything.
least was the most perfect thing they could have ever
That
done.
was everything, man. That is
That was a lot.
Captain America all the way. Yeah, great end to his character. I love that he got that happy ending. He
Which is
deserved
what
it.
he deserves. He never got a happy ending in any
Exactly.
of the movies.
It
Exactly. Like he was just always a soldier on the mission. He
Yeah, it
just
was kind of like Tony and Cap learned from each other in their endings. They're the
he
two
did.
big faces of the MCU. Cap learned to enjoy life from Tony. Tony learned the meaning of sacrifice and when to lay down the wire for the greater good. That kind of deal.
Oh, very, very true. Very true. Yeah.
you think
'Cause-
about it, build him another mission. Like, yeah, as you said, he's Captain America. He's like the man on the mission, and this was one of his big missions. The mission was to get that dance, and he finally did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Right?
like that soldier that finally got to come home. After being
Yeah.
through hell and back. Yeah. It was.
I've listened to the
Oh,
song that they danced to so many times the past
oh
few
yeah.
days.
Oh man. It
It's
was
a
so.
fantastic, and I remember seeing that shot and hearing the song. I just remember that line. Right before he goes in the water, he says, "I'll have them play something. We'll have the band play something slow. I wouldn't want to step on your." And he cuts off beforehand. And the first
Oh
thing I
yeah.
thought was, "Oh, they played something slow." My poor Captain America fanboy heart.
Yeah, man. Oh, it was a beautiful end. What did you guys think about? Because this is something a lot of people are discussing. What do you guys think about like Cap giving Sam Wilson Falcon this shield
Fuck,
instead of Bucky?
I like it.
We'll go with you,
I like.
Jackson. What do you think about that?
I like it. I think while Bucky would have been, it would have been the more quote, obvious choice story wise.
Yeah,
I don't think obvious is always right because I don't think Bucky would have wanted the shield.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
think he would have wanted it, and I also think Bucky wouldn't be Captain America necessarily. Bucky's much darker. He's the Winter
Exactly.
Soldier,
He's down.
especially maybe back in World War II, he could have been, but after the events of Winter Soldier and Civil War and all that, he's the White Wolf. And I
He
feel like
is
Sam Wilson, especially in a modern timeline, is a better fit for Captain America, and Steve saw that.
right. What about you, Zay?
No, I totally agree. I had no problem with it. I mean, yeah, of course, at first I was just like, wow, Bucky could have been it. But then you got to think about Bucky as a character, not just as a friend to Cap, and not just as like a brother basically to Cap. You got to think of him as a character and who he is and what that shield represents, you know? And Sam, he like honestly, I was so satisfied with him getting the shield. And you
Mhm.
know, they did it perfectly and that was just a beautiful shot like when he didn't even tell him that he was gonna give it to him. He was just like, "Here, try it on," and he was all
Yeah,
like, "Feel good?" He was like, "Yeah." He was all like,
yeah,
"Of
Well,
course."
Sam said, he said it feels like it was made for someone else.
Right.
And
right.
I feel like I'm wondering what they're going to do with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's gonna be
What that's
interesting.
going to be.
That's another addition to Disney Plus.
That's another reason why I'm getting Disney Plus day one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump on that as well too.
I mean,
You know,
not just for the what if to see Peggy Carter becoming Captain America in the first episode.
exactly. I will say this now. After speaking of all the insane amount of violence they got away with in Endgame, I am more confident than ever of the MCU having the rights to Deadpool. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if they could pull this shit off in Endgame, they could probably make a PG-13 with Deadpool decapitating at least 10 people. You know?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
I'd still be okay with it.
Yeah, well, I think this makes me more confident, less of his own solo movies for that. Because they're going to keep those R.
yeah.
But I'm much more confident after this about the team ups
Oh yeah. Yeah.
if they ever decide to do it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm wondering how that's going to go, and I'm just so glad they did not tease any X-Men or Fantastic Four or anything in this movie.
Yeah, same here. I'm glad there wasn't a post credit scene. Some people were upset, like, "Oh, where's the post credit scene?" But I thought it was very fitting that they didn't have one.
Yeah, this
It
was
was
the ending. Like there wasn't a need for a post credits.
there wasn't a need. It was just a great send off and finality to the 11
Like
years worth of storytelling. So
I'm so happy for all these characters and like what they're gonna do for future MCU. Like we got these characters who, like for instance, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who the heck they were, but Marvel is like, you know what? You don't know who they are. Boom! Now you love these characters, each and every one of them. Captain
yeah,
Marvel, you know who she is. Boom! You're gonna love her, and it just shows you like to me, it just makes me happy for what's more to come because now it just paved the way to just like when you think about like a Marvel film, probably some people they were like space, like that wouldn't work well, but we got Guardians of the Galaxy and it worked. So like all
yeah,
these other characters, there's so many characters in Marvel, like Silver Surfer. Come on now, he's a space character. Like
give
it
me
just
Keanu Reeves.
I'm like, oh man, it paved the way
Canary
for
Reeves as Silver Surfer.
Yes.
right. I'm ready for that Galactus and all that.
Yeah,
Oh, that'll be a
I
cinematic.
sign off on that. Anything with Canary Reeves, I sign off on.
I'm wondering what they're gonna do for the next big bad.
You know
Who
what?
you got?
I was thinking Doctor Doom. I would like to see.
I'm kind of hoping they do Doom, mainly because they've screwed up Doom every other time they've tried. So he
Exactly.
deserves his
Yeah.
due. They
Right,
Yeah.
killed the big one. Like
right.
They could do
three
Galactus.
movies.
They could do Galactus because they've introduced so many cosmic elements already with Guardians and Captain Marvel.
At the very least,
But
we want him to be like a Loki style villain, like for at least the big villain for one Avengers movie, at the very least.
right, but I feel like Doctor Doom needs to get his due. he
Yeah,
needs it, like especially now that Disney and Marvel they have the rights to Fox to Fantastic Four. So why the hell not? So I'm game for
yeah.
Doom. Yeah.
Right. Doom has been met like fucked over so many times. It's about time that we get the Doom that we all know and love, you know?
Yeah.
Like man, I'm just I cannot wait.
Did either of y'all like actually watch that Fantastic Four movie from like 4 years ago?
No.
I saw
How
I did.
I saw it and I
was
was so
it?
disappointed.
Oh, it's painful.
Oh, I
It's
can imagine.
painful. No, I didn't even watch it in theaters. I got it on Redbox because I was like, it can't be that bad.
I remember.
I regret a lot of things, and
Let
that's
me
one of
tell
them.
you something. Like I heard that it was so god awful, so atrocious I had an opportunity to buy the Fan Four Stick Steelbook at Big
Oh,
Lots.
you should have done it. You should have so
It was
done
a
it.
brand new Steelbook sealed in Big Lots for like $3, and I was like, nah.
Should have done it. I would have done it.
I thought
That's
about it for a minute. I'm like, well, it is a Steelbook, but would I watch this?
Is there a
Do I want
steelbook for
to?
Venom? I want it.
That Steelbook looked pretty cool.
There is. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I mean, just because of the cover art of Venom. Venom, it just looks so fucking cool, regardless of how terrible the movie was. Just anything with Venom on it, it looks fucking cool. So,
Oh, I'm so getting this.
but the Endgame was fantastic. I think we're just gonna end it here. I loved it. I think it's easily my number one MCU film. It's so good. I saw it twice already. Planning on seeing it a third time in Dolby Cinema this time on Monday.
wow.
So I can't wait for that. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great experience.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we were alive to experience
I
all
would
of
have been
this.
so mad if I died before seeing Endgame.
I would be very pissed. I would have words with God.
I would have words with God. Like, hey,
Right.
be cease. Yeah. If I were a ghost and I'd have unfinished business, I'd be like, hey, why are you haunting the theater? Oh, I'm waiting for Endgame.
Yeah, wait for
Once
Endgame.
Endgame
Yeah,
comes
exactly.
around, I'm good. Dude, I'm gonna die tomorrow. I'm seeing Endgame again and the Battle of Winterfell. Oh my god.
Oh my God! Yes. I forgot that.
Oh, I'm gonna see so many Starks die, and I'm not ready.
It's too much, man.
And
That's another thing I'm preparing for. I gotta prepare for that. The only difference is you're probably gonna see my reaction on my YouTube because I've been covering Game of Thrones. I've been uploading my reaction and reviews per episode. So shit.
Oh
I'm
god.
gonna be
I'm dying tomorrow. That's just gonna happen.
I'm dead.
I'm just gonna die.
and you guys are really sad to know, but I've never seen Game of Thrones, right? I
You
know,
should
like
watch
I
it.
get into it, like I can't wait till I finally start watching it. Like the trailers look so freaking good, but like I don't know what's been wrong with me. I just haven't been.
It's a
watching.
fantastic show, dude. You gotta hop on.
Yeah, give it a watch, man. Give it if you have time, definitely give it a watch. Um, you will be surprised. It's very unpredictable. It's like
Yeah.
unlike anything you've seen. A lot of surprises. It's very brutal. Like, so just prepare yourself. Like you thought Endgame was brutal. Yeah.
The fact that you can say the word endgame and brutal in the same sentence is just mind-boggling. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, it was.
I'll tell you this much: Game of Thrones is brutal 3,000 times. It's crazy. It's pretty much just crazy. Yeah.
I also really quickly want to point out Avengers Endgame is on track to, in its first weekend, make $1 billion.
Yep.
Finally, I hope it tops Avatar. Please,
dude.
top Avatar.
It is okay. It's technically Sunday now, but for Saturday, it's already at 600 million worldwide.
Oh my God! Yes, it needs to be the number one movie worldwide. If there was any movie that should break that record, finally, Endgame.
Yeah, well, Infinity War is at number 4. Oh man, 2.7 billion for Avatar, though. I think they can do it, but it'll probably end up being pretty close.
They can do it if.
My words, they make 3.5 bill.
Yeah, like
I feel like they can do it if they're able to make more money off of that weekend when because they don't have that much competition coming up except for that Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie, which has its fan base. So that's the movie that I think may topple it or may not.
I would say I haven't been impressed much by the trailer, so I'm not sure how much that'll do. But everyone else seems to adore the trailer, so I imagine a bunch of people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you can't discount
it's gotten good reactions as well, I've heard.
Yeah. So
but here's the thing, though. I imagine a lot of people are going to want to go back and revisit Endgame.
Yeah.
A lot. But
that's what I'm hoping for because
not much. Like I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure a bunch of studios were like, "Hey, so Endgame is coming out, so we're not releasing anything for 3 months.
Right? Like,
We
can't
want to
compete with
make a
that.
profit."
Yeah.
Like I love
Mhm.
Avatar, but man, like it's been at the top for a while, and Endgame deserves so bad to be at the top now.
Yeah, and I
But
would just love for a good movie to be at the top.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
like,
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree more. So we're gonna end the video right here, guys. I appreciate your time and your emphasis and your
right,
input on Avengers Endgame. It's been great talking to you guys. Be sure to follow these guys. I'm gonna leave their Stardust names in the description. Make sure you download the Stardust app. And yeah, this is a great community. You can actually share opinions
It is
and
the
not be
only fun social
belittled
media.
and not be
yeah,
crucified by an unpopular opinion. So try out the Stardust app because it's a
You
lot
can
of
say
fun.
something and not get fired in 10 years. Well, I won't say that, but
Well,
we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Jackson.
No problem.
Thank you, Day, for participating in this
no problem.
spoiler talk discussion
It
of
was,
Avengers Endgame, the movie events of a lifetime. Thanks for watching as always. I'm Night Phase. Thank you guys, and we're outie.